Hello, and welcome back to the Sega Spirit Show. It's your healthy dose of blue skies, blast processing, and a whole lot of retro-fueled enthusiasm. I'm your host, Graham Cookson, and joining me as always is Scotty Moe, a man who once drunkenly claimed that he could finish GG Shinobi before his toast pops up, and that Lucky Charms were actually rejects from the game's columns. So, we have a cracking episode for you folks tonight. As always, we have our hot Sega community news, plus not one, not three, but two Sega consoles celebrated a big milestone this year. But we're actually going to focus on one of them. I won't say which one it is, but if you believe the Game Gear is not merely a handheld, but a way of life, then you're in for a free ride that'll knock those 6 AAs right out of your battery pack. So come join us as we celebrate the Sega Community Classics and more on this Sega Spirit Show. Yeah. Cool. Welcome back, Scotty. Hey. Before we get into the main niceties, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So you may notice that my background is a bit different this week. And that is because I am not at home. I'm not even in the UK. I am down under in Australia. Yes, my wife, she's actually Australian, and we are staying with her family, with my in-laws, which has been awesome. And yeah, but for that reason, I'm not in my normal setup. I don't have my normal computer. The layout on the screen looks different as well. That's because we're using a different program, which is less resource heavy. Because it turns out my laptops can't run OBS and stuff properly very well. So yeah, we are using a different system, a different platform. But hopefully things will run as smooth as butter. You know, that's how we like to do it. And
Butter.
also the news will be slightly different. So for the next few weeks, because we're out here for a little while, the next few weeks, I will probably be doing the news solo, just partly because, time restrictions, recordings. I mean, I think I'm 15 hours ahead of Scotty at the moment or something. Is that right? Because
Something like that.
it's currently Sunday for me. It is Saturday for you.
Nope.
Um, no, it's not Saturday. Is it
It's
Sunday?
Sunday,
It's Sunday
5:15
morning.
p.m., and I thought it was Monday morning for you right
Oh, it's
now.
Monday morning. No, see, I've even forgotten what day it is. It's actually Monday morning for me. It is, yeah, it is yesterday for you, Sunday.
It is yesterday for me. That's
God,
I'm always stuck in the past, and that's why we started this podcast to talk about the past of Sega.
yeah. Oh man. And also, yeah, it is weirdly cold here in Australia, but I'll get to that in a minute. Sorry, I've just had to turn the fan off. I don't know if you could hear that, the heater fan thing.
I
Um,
cannot, but I was gonna just reassure you that you're not crazy for forgetting what day it is because I don't have a consistent thing that happens every week anymore in life. So I have to say to myself, like tomorrow at work, actually tomorrow I will probably have to do this because normally I work remote Mondays and Fridays, but I'm going into the office for something. So I'm gonna have to say to myself, today is Monday, today is Monday, today is Monday, like out loud to
yeah.
hear it myself. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, and also I don't know what day of the week it is because I've been working UK hours, which means I've been working 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. in Australia. So basically doing the night shift.
Woof. Third
So
shift,
yeah,
baby.
I don't know what day it is. You can see the bags under my eyes. Actually, they're really bad. Like wow.
Is
I
that's
just
what
know.
it is that did they call it that in the UK? We like over here, I don't know if that's a universal thing, working because graveyard shift is not the nicest thing to say, I guess, anymore. But so we would say third shift if you're working something that's like through the night.
Oh,
Like
I've
second
never,
shift,
never heard
like
third
first
shift.
shift is 9 to 5.
Right.
Second shift would be like 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like 3 to 11. But
Okay.
like third shift would be you start at like 7 p.m. and go till 5 a.m. or something. That's third shift.
Yeah, I've never actually heard the expression third shift
Okay.
before.
Maybe it's
I
a
mean,
North American thing.
yeah, unless I might be at a company that actually has the shifts at the company. But yeah, in general, we just say night shift. If you
Hmm.
said graveyard shift, I think people
They
would
definitely know what you
understand that.
mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Scotty, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I don't take vacations and we don't like our family, so I'm still at home. Um,
Nice.
no, but I jest. Uh, I don't know. What am I doing? Well, hey, not last time. Recently we talked about Condemned
Mhm.
extensively. You're welcome, everyone. And then, lo and behold, it got delisted from PCs, from Steam, and from the 360, or not 360, from the Xbox network, whatever the heck it's called. You can't buy it online anymore. So of course I panicked and I got the box PC version of Condemned since I'm a psychopath. Even though
Nice,
I didn't
nice.
think the game was amazing, I still was like, I think I still like this game, and it is nostalgic. First one to legit creep me out, and I mean, gentlemen don't discuss prices. I've never said I'm a gentleman. This was $20, but people are definitely trying to sell it for like over $100 on eBay and all that garbage.
What?
It's got the old GameStop tag on it still, but
Uh,
it's a little bit tattered. But hey, it's still got
ooh,
the discs, it's still got the manual, so we're
oh,
good
that's
to
good.
go. Sorry if the mic picked up that like screeching of the box as I opened it up.
All good.
Uh, so I panicked even though I own it on 360. I was like, you know what? I think I should get this still. Now I can't close the
Uh,
box. Screw that.
that's crazy because I mean it's a great game. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's not $100 game.
Enjoy it, yeah, but it's not. People are trying to go crazy, but the internet does provide. If you really want it on Steam, you can find it a certain
Yeah.
way. So that's funny. And I also we had a show recently. We ran a booth at another show. I've mentioned that side hustle before, like toy shows and media shows and stuff, but
Mhm.
I found an oddly specific pin that I guess maybe the preamble I'll do here is how sometimes movie theaters or like rental places you'll have a pin, like it's a big, like almost the size of like a playing card, but you got to wear it on
Right.
your vest or your work uniform. I got one for Johnny Mnemonic.
That's
Rachel
cool.
loved Johnny Mnemonic, the movie.
Mm.
And then when I was over there, I saw one that made me laugh because it was so specific. I'm like, I think I'm gonna get this too because it's like $2. And here you go, Graham. Why don't you tell the people what this is?
No way. Oh, okay. It
If my
is a
camera
Home
decides to focus on
Improvement,
it.
the TV show Home Improvements, starring Tim Allen. Um, and yeah, it's a badge thing of that. And it says on,
Let me do this because
whoa,
that seems to
whoa,
make it focus.
own it on video September 7th.
The series
This
finale.
finale.
So it's
Oh,
the Home
wow.
Improvement logo. Tim the Toolman Taylor just holding a hammer next to it, but it says Home Improvement, the series finale. Own it on video, September 7th. I'm like, that is so incredibly specific. I want to have that. It was
That
dumb.
is pretty cool. Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
But yeah. And one last thing I'll mention. I guess the short version of this is I got it as a gift. Chromatic. Have you heard of them? Sorry
I
if I bumped
I
my mic
feel
there.
like I have.
It is a it looks like a Game Boy.
Yeah.
This one is orange and it's the I think they called it the Fire or something, but it's actually metal. And I should have brought up the website to have the factoids. So let me do that real quick. I'm sorry. There it is because I got the Tetris bundle. And it have you heard of Gorilla Glass?
Yes. Yeah.
So this is apparently, I don't know if you can see the word on there. It's sapphire. Oh, it focused for a split second. It's sapphire
Oh, yeah.
glass, which I didn't know was a thing.
Mm.
But this is made of metal. So it's an ultimate cartridge console for people who simply want a game. No downloads, logins, interruptions. Just plug in a cartridge and start playing. But it's where are the stats on it? You stupid thing. Lightweight magnesium shell. So it is actually metal and stuff, but it takes three double A's, or
Nice.
you can plug it in with the USB-C. I have Tetris in there right now that came with this, and the screen is very nice.
Wow.
Um, I don't know if that's gonna. Oh, there it
That's coming
goes.
out pretty well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and let me get
And it
into a
does look a
game
bit
just so
like a
you can
Game
see
Boy
it.
cartridge, like,
Right.
actually
Yeah.
yeah. Like, if you
But
showed that to me, I'd say that's a custom shell Game Boy,
you
basically.
say that's a Game Boy. Oh my God. Hey, have I mentioned that I'm shopping for a new webcam because it just does not focus? Um, we're gonna stare at this. And oh God, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing retails for like $300. The
Whoa.
sapphire glass. I did not buy it, but it was a gift, and I'm happy to have it.
Nice.
And I've enjoyed the little bits that I've played. Like it feels good.
Yeah.
I thought it was relevant to mention for the theme of our episode too. But I really like this thing. It does have infrared. It has the input for a two-player if you did want to play
Ooh,
two-player.
okay.
The link cable, and volume knob and other stuff.
But, uh,
But yeah,
have they released lots of other Game Boy games for it, or is it
They have, like, things specifically made for it too.
okay?
You know what? I don't know if you would want to share this, but I'll send this to you real quick because
Okay.
I had to stop myself before, like, pre-ordering things. Apparently, GameStop's making a game for it, which is weird. Buck,
Oh,
their mascot, Buck the Bunny, Buck in the Cursed cartridge, but there's a Croc 25th Anniversary Edition that is a side-scrolling version of Croc. Yeah.
ooh,
That
okay.
that was one that I
Yeah,
was interested in, and apparently a new Rayman game is also coming out for it. So strange stuff, or it is just Rayman, I'm not sure. Um,
okay. I was going to try sharing my screen. I just brought it up.
do what you need to.
How's that gone? Sorry.
Keep in mind, everybody, this is a new platform for
Yep.
us that we're using, so
We are okay.
apologize for our debris. Pardon our debris, something like that. Yeah, no, it's a pretty cool little thing. You can see the cartridge or the games there. Mod Retro is who makes it. So Mod Retro Classics Collection is some stuff they're doing with Croc and Rayman. There's an Atari 90s Rewind thing.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, there was also what was the game they
okay. So it's not the
packaged with
3D
it?
croc. It's some sort of 2D croc.
No,
Sorry,
it's a 2D version of
my
Croc.
brain was like, what? Like, really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a 2D, and I kind of want. I'll take more Croc. I kind of want that Croc game.
Yeah.
Um, I also have the game In the Dark 2 that came with it, which is like a narrative, um, text heavy, story heavy adventure game. I'm not sure. I barely dove into it because the intro was like seriously 15 minutes of conversations.
Oh, in the
I'm
dark.
getting a little staticky. Can you hear static from me at all?
No.
I was for a moment there. But no, the chromatic, pretty neat
Nice.
little piece of tech
Yeah.
that I wasn't expecting to own, but I'll happily take it.
Yeah.
Um,
See, I own an Evercade, which
sure.
has obviously cartridges and stuff, and I don't think I'd be able to justify getting another one of those sort of devices because
No,
yeah, we spent way too much on the Evercade.
right.
Man, that's pretty cool though. The fact they got like some cool licenses and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool licenses and more stuff's getting made for it. And you can download, you have to do firmware updates and stuff like that.
Mm.
So it does connect to the internet, excuse me, in some way, shape, or form. Um, but I'm excited to own one.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's that's actually yeah, very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool indeed.
it's neat, and I'm very appreciative of getting this thing. So,
Nice.
um, and I had a question for you, Graham.
Uh-oh.
I've been playing through Blue Stinger. And I wonder
Yeah.
if I should keep using the strategy guide with it or not, because
Ooh.
I listened to the Sega Lounge recently and they even mentioned the strategy guide. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of just following the strategy guide as I play Blue Stinger. I'm not blindly going into it. Your 2 cents. Like, I've never fully played through Blue Stinger, but I have that hobby now of like trying to sit down with a video game guide and the game and just
I mean,
dive off
so
the world.
I think oh well, I think it's kind of down to your personal enjoyment because do you get more enjoyment solving puzzles and working stuff out yourself, or do you get more enjoyment just playing through the game, enjoying the experience? You don't care about spoilers and stuff because there have
Mhm.
been a couple back in the day. There were a couple of games that I did play with the strategy guide, which actually enhanced my enjoyment because I found out hidden things I don't think I ever would have found on my own and stuff like that.
Sure.
So yeah, there are some games though that I've played where it just ruined the experience. So
Hmm.
swings around. And also, do you want to play through it and try and get through it as fast as possible? Because time these days, as we're adults, time is you
Yeah,
know,
I did put it on easy. But
okay, good.
I don't think I'm ever gonna play through it again, so I wanna see everything, that's why I have the
Yeah,
guide.
okay. I think use the guide. Go for it.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
based on what I know of you and stuff. Keep that guide
Yeah,
going. Yeah.
okay. I appreciate that. I needed a gamer's 2 cents.
Hmm.
No
Yeah.
offense to my wife, but I asked Rachel, and she's like, "I don't know."
Yeah. Fantastic. So, have you got any other pickups? Any other jazz
No,
going on?
nothing too crazy worth mentioning, I'd say right now. What about you? Boy, I bet they love hearing this, but how's it down there when you're putting another shrimp on the barbie?
I have not said that to anyone here, just in case
Yeah,
I get
don't.
lynched or something.
You'll get booted right
I have
out of
said that.
there.
I've said that to Kate before though, and she was like, No.
Yeah.
So yeah, down under, which apparently you're allowed to say, it's cold. It's so
Well,
you
you're
might
below the equator.
yeah. So most people, it's November. It's going to be cold, but it's kind of technically coming into their summer here. And Australia
Right.
is generally a warm country. I mean, they do have their cold periods, but it's generally a warm country. And everyone has said to me, this is the coldest winter coldest summer they've kind of experienced in a
Hmm.
while. And like when we landed on the plane, it was 32 degrees centigrade, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Most of the
Uh,
world will understand me. Americans won't.
correct.
Uh, it's pretty hot though. 32 degrees is pretty warm. And so yeah, that was at like 6 p.m. we landed, and it was that temperature. I was like, wow, it's really hot here. The next day, it was down to 11 degrees centigrade. Like it drops so much.
That's
Um,
89. 32 centigrade is 89 degrees for me, which is like almost 90. That's blazing hot. And you
yeah,
said it dropped to what? Sorry?
11 degrees centigrade the next day.
11 would be, yeah, it's 50 degrees. That's chilly. It was,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
And
chilly.
it's been mostly about 11 to 15 degrees centigrade. One day got up to 20. But yeah, yesterday it was quite sunny in the morning, and then just a storm basically happened, like it raining and windy and
Mhm.
horrible. It's like, God damn it. So
That's
yeah,
just some good old East Coast Pittsburgh weather you're experiencing pretty much.
wow,
It'll be 70 one week and then 40 the next.
wow,
So,
yeah. In the UK, this would be a normal summer for us, but in
mhm,
Australia, I'm expecting a bit more. I was promised sunshine, it has not delivered.
gotta
So yeah,
layer up.
so I'm sitting in this room with a little fan heater, which has a cool little remote, which is quite handy, so I can turn it off and on. But yeah, really cold this morning.
Mhm.
And yeah, other than that, what I've been doing. So I've seen a few movies. So watched a couple on the plane, managed to get a couple in.
Ah,
Captain America: Brave New World. Have you seen that? I thought it was,
mediocre as heck.
yeah, I thought it was fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it though. I know a lot of people seem to hate it. I was like, I enjoyed it. It's fine. It's like,
They did Anthony Mackie dirty, in my opinion.
yeah, I think he could have been a lot. It could have been a lot better. They didn't use the characters very well. I personally think the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show ruined the characters a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
that was not a strong show. I mean, did
yeah,
you see any trailers for this movie before you saw the movie?
no, I did not want to. Although I found out who the main bad guy was just through,
It's
I think
everywhere.
through
It's
a
the Red
movie
Hulk.
poster or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Red Hulk.
No,
Yeah,
it was in the trail. The trailer ended with the Red Hulk, and I'm like, and then after watching the movie, I'm like, you should not have put that in the trailer, but they
yes,
had to get butts in seats, or so they
yeah.
thought. But like, if they hadn't done that, maybe the movie would have been stronger.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like they do that a lot with movies. They ruin the stuff in the trailer or even the poster. Because I think I saw a poster and it had a poster of like Captain America sort of standing there like this, and then the big Hulk sort of just start going above
Probably.
him, going, "Roar."
Sure.
And I was like, oh, so the Hulk's in this. Great, okay.
Yep. That's too bad.
And I also watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and I I loved it. I just thought this is my kind of jam. Like it's just silly, fun, but takes complete piss out of other Marvel movies and stuff, and
Yeah.
DC movies as well. Some really good in jokes, lots of cameos I did not expect. I didn't watch trailers for this. I kind of just knew that I wanted to see it, and yeah, lots of cameos I just didn't expect. I'm like, wow, this is cool.
I
Um,
tried to go into the theater. I tried to see that as soon as I could because I knew people would be spoiling it left and right, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I managed to stay away from the spoilers, which is great. So I'm happy with that. Um, and oh yeah, and also I saw Back to the Future in the cinema over here.
40th an or yeah, 40th anniversary, baby.
Yeah, woo, yeah. There's the people who might live in the UK or in London. There's a cinema, a small cinema in Leicester Square called the Prince Charles Theatre, which basically shows old movies. That's all it ever shows, but it also does lots of like themed at night. So like do an Arnold Schwarzenegger theme night. It might have like Last Action Hero, Terminator, I don't know, Commando, like just a series of
Mhm,
movies. Basically pay and just stay there the whole day. And this cinema is very similar. It's like a very old retro cinema. Like I don't know how old it was exactly, but maybe like 50, 60 years old. So not the nicest mod cons and stuff in there. Like the seats are a bit older, but their seats are still
mhm,
pretty comfortable. Like old school popcorn and like the way way everything's laid out looks like it's from the 50s or something. really good, but it helped with the aesthetic and the vibe of the movie. And they showed old trailers from like the 80s and 90s before the movie.
Oh, okay.
There's
Mhm.
like one with um, oh my god, I was about to say Marty McFly, which is the character's name, obviously. Michael
Michael
J.
J.
Fox.
Fox.
Yes, yeah. He had like an old Pepsi advert with him in and stuff like that.
Oh, that's fun.
They also had a GoldenEye advert, which was weird. I mean, it was a cool retro
For
advert.
the movie or the game?
The movie, but it's still that was
Hmm.
like 1995 or something. So
Yeah, that was
quite like
still
that.
yeah.
But it's still retro, which was cool. But yeah, no, that's a really good experience. So yeah, really happy with that. And yeah, I also got some pickups while I was in Australia, which is really awesome. So actually, I'll show you one thing that I nearly bought. Hold on, I'm gonna have
Yep.
to switch to a different mode. There it is, I think. Yeah, cool. So I should have switched to that view. Nearly bought this.
Yep.
Typing of the Dead with keyboard. The box quality was amazing, but it was like
Mm.
something like nearly $300 or something Australian
Oh,
dollars.
don't do oh, yeah, Australia's always been crazy with their prices, like, when games were $60, they were, like, over $100
Yeah, it
over there
was
and stuff.
nuts. Did I say how much it was? Oh no, it's $400. Sorry, yeah,
Good
400 Australian dollars,
gravy.
which is about 200 UK pounds.
Yeah, it's
I
$260 here.
Yeah, I don't think I could
But
afford.
what's in there?
I'd justify it.
It's a
So
vertical box.
it's got the keyboard and the game basically.
Mhm.
Um,
What is that little cat character on that sticker? Is that the store's sticker or something?
no, that's
Oh,
I actually have no idea. Can I zoom in a bit more? Whoa,
there he is.
that is
Wonder what that says. Actually, if you hold it there, I can use Google Translate on my phone
ah
to try to figure this out.
wow.
He's probably just saying like, "Please buy me. Buy this." Or something. Give me 1 second here. It looks like a I thought it was like Bubsy or something. I couldn't tell
Does
what he
look a
was.
bit like Bubsy, doesn't it? For
Okay.
audio
It
listeners, there's a like a weird
says
cat fox type creature on a sticker with
oh, it
Japanese writing.
says, Famitsu Hall of Fame. That's the Japanese gaming
Okay,
magazine,
I
Famitsu
will.
Famitsu.
I did wonder because it says weekly next to some of the writing, and that's for Mitsu Weekly. I think it's the name of the magazine, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah,
The
that's you
text
know.
behind it is very random. According to my phone, it says, like, in the blue
Oh
area
yeah.
there, it says, "What's going on? I have some sad news for you. The war situation is terrible. I'm sweating outside. This is the it's a dog," and just random words everywhere.
But that maybe that's what you're typing in the game.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about
You get
that.
the random things like yeah,
Yeah,
it's sweating outside.
that's
It's
good.
a dog. Yeah. Okay.
I
No,
don't
that's
think I could do there were no bundles for that game in America. I don't know if the UK had bundles. I mean,
I
that
don't think
box
we
looks great,
did.
though.
Yeah. Yeah. From memory, I think you just had. I don't even know. Actually, I don't even know if Typing the Dead was released in the UK. You got the keyboard over here. So,
Hmm.
well, when I say over here, I mean over there because I'm not here anymore. um, but yeah, I don't remember actually seeing Typing of the Dead on the shelves. But yeah, no.
Yeah,
But this would be more of a. I mean, I'd play it, but at the same time, it's more of a hey, this is a cool thing to have, and I can't
yeah.
justify £200, 400
Nah,
Australian dollars
no,
for it,
nope.
unfortunately. But I did.
Especially because it's a Japanese keyboard too, so, like, how practical would that be to
Oh
own?
yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah,
So I'm
I
helping you be okay with like, if it was just the box and it was, like, 20 bucks, I'd say get it. Like, with the
mm,
colors, the teal zombie, the blue background, the
yeah,
agents on there, whatever, but no, you did alright skipping on that.
yeah, that's a good point though. Japanese keyboard. Didn't even think of that. So yeah, could not understand the characters. Um, cool. But I did actually manage to pick up some other stuff. That's me bigger there. So
Time to make me
uh,
jealous because I saw one already.
yeah. So okay, yeah, I'll start with that one because you've already seen it. This is one of those games I've always just kind of wanted to get, and it is
Yeah,
Police Snorts for the Sega Saturn. And yeah, this
man.
is Hideo Kojima. Yeah, is that right? I
Yep.
think. Yeah, so by Konami, Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear fame. This one of the, I guess, the earlier games that he made on
Yeah.
the Saturn. And I mean, the spine thing is a bit tatty, but generally the box is actually very good condition. The actual case inside is also in very good condition. I looked at the discs as
Oh, you
well.
had the a slipcase on there. Okay, wow.
Um, that's really the discs are really good quality, and it also comes with a cool book, like a little art book
Oh,
thing.
wow.
So that's kind of why I was like, okay, I do actually really want to get this good
Yeah.
quality.
Jeez.
The picture book thing, really cool. Don't can I open that a bit? Okay. Yeah, it's just got some other information about the game and things like that. Um, yeah, I thought that's a really nice thing to have.
That's a quality purchase
Yeah.
there.
So that was
It is,
about
basically
£40, I
Lethal
think.
Weapon in space is what that game is from what I
Okay, yeah,
understand.
because I'd never actually played it.
Yeah.
I know little bits about it.
Just like how Hideo Kojima the game Snatcher is Blade Runner,
Yeah.
with Christmas themes, Police Knots is Lethal Weapon in space,
Okay, that's cool. That's a good thing to know. Yeah, because
from what I
Snatcher
understand.
was made before this, wasn't it? I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get I think Police Knots might be only Japan, unless
Yeah, I've got
I'm
a
really
feeling it
wrong.
is. Yeah, and I think Snatcher wasn't released outside in the West. It wasn't released outside of America. I think it was only America and Japan, from memory.
Oh, but yeah, we got it on Sega CD in the States, but that was it.
Okay, and then I've also picked up this, which let's see if you know what this is.
Anarchy in Nippon. Why does that sound familiar?
So my understanding is that means anarchy in Japan, um,
Okay.
and
Oh, it's a
I had to
fighting game.
yeah, so I had to Google this because I looked at the back and I was like, okay, it looks a bit like a fighting game. There's like I don't know if you can see. There's a guy in like a business suit.
Right.
Um, there's also a lady who just looks like a random lady on the street. Um,
Alright.
but apparently, it's like Japanese people from mythology and stuff in Japan who are
Hmm,
fighting it out and stuff, like famous figures and mythological people. That's the best I could get from the description I read online. Uh,
okay.
and again, this is more of curiosity because I was just like, that sounds so weird. I need to buy this game. But I haven't played it yet because I don't have my Saturn here.
Right.
But yeah, I'll need to play that when I get home.
Yeah,
And I'll update you guys.
it looks like the style of, like, Virtua Fighter or, Last
Yes.
Bronx or Fighting Vipers or something.
Yeah, that's kind of three D early 3D fighting game basically.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how well it plays and how good it is. But yeah, just a random, really Japanese sounding game basically, which is yeah, it's fun going to Australia. Technically a Western country, like in culturally, and then getting Japanese games. Yeah,
Video game for the Sega Saturn and a historical overview of the anarchist movement in Japan, supposedly. Cool. I'm
man,
jealous of all those.
fantastic, good. That's what I'm here for, making you jealous.
Mhm.
Other than that, I did that before I left. Actually, got to play some Half-Life Decay and Uplink, which we mentioned in the previous episode on the Dreamcast, which is really good fun. I only played a little bit of it, but I was like, this is solid. Enjoying this game a lot, and also
Good.
played some Game Gear games for this episode. So yeah, to refresh my memory. So yeah, but with that, Scotty, let's get in to the community news. Hello, yes, we're moving into the news, and as mentioned, we're doing it slightly differently. So, due to time restrictions and time zones and different things like that, I'm going to be recording the news on my own for this episode, maybe for the next few episodes while I'm away. But yeah, hopefully we can still have some entertaining news. We can crack on with it. So yeah, first up, we have an update on the DreamColor Plus controller. So if you don't know, a developer, Nye Adventure, that goes Nye Adventure on YouTube and social media. Him and another team are creating a Dreamcast controller, which has a built-in color LCD screen for the VMU, and it works with multiple games. But they've also announced that they are working on different drivers for different systems. So they've got it working on Android as well. So that's what this video is showing you, that it's running Sonic, looks like Sonic 2 on Android. And yeah, so Bluetooth controller that's working with a different device. And I believe I also read somewhere, I can't actually find the information now, that they've got it working on PC as well. But take that with a grain of salt. I can't actually find the information anymore. But yeah, just before the show, I had a quick look and I couldn't find it. But it's really exciting. So yeah, this looks like the controller is going to be able to use on multiple different devices. So if you are into emulation and stuff, you could potentially use a Dreamcast controller with a Dreamcast emulator, but also other games as well. So like Mega Drive and Genesis, by the looks of it. Really cool. And next up, we have some updates on Final Fight MD. So uh, some of this isn't positive news. It's actually a bit sad, really. But yeah, let me just bring up my screen and we'll have a look at it. Okay, so essentially, if you're a fan of the show, you might know about Final Fight MD. It's a fan-made port of Final Fight, the His arcade game, which was released on the Super Nintendo back in the day, also on the Mega CD or Sega CD. There have been other ports like Game Boy Advance, but it was never officially released on the Mega Drive, not the Mega Drive on its own at least. But this developer, Mauro Xavier, he has been developing a Mega Drive version, and by all accounts, it looks to be way better than the Super Nintendo version, possibly even better than the arcade version. Probably not graphically the arcade version, but there's lots of features and stuff that he's adding, which makes it really good. There have been some frustrations though recently, so he's actually done quite a few recent posts. So I'm going to go through a few different posts here, but essentially, he's found some frustration in that if you're a Patreon supporter, that's where you get most of the updates from. I'm a Patreon supporter, lots of other people are, but that's where you can get early releases of the beta versions of the game, mostly for testing. He's not releasing them to be like, hey, this game's finished, have a play. It's more the game's getting along, it's progressing really well, but there's bugs and glitches. Please play it, please test it. Let me know what's going on, like are there any bugs and stuff, because he is essentially a one-man band. He needs the support. He needs that little bit of help. So that's why he releases these beta versions. But some of them have been leaks online on different websites, which this is actually going to be a free game eventually. So he says, in some regards, he's not losing money because he's going to release it free because he doesn't own the rights to the game or anything. So it's going to be a free fan made port anyway. But people have been complaining about it. Some people have been going, "Oh, there's bugs here, there's glitches there. It's not fully finished or whatever." That's the whole point. It's not finished yet. So he's been expressing his frustration about this, about how lots of people have been sort of leaking it online, and it's not going well. So he's expressed this frustration about this. This also led on to some other issues and stuff. And he then posted some more stuff about the final fight and his progression with it. So he then did another post, sort of saying, "Let's talk seriously about Final Fight MD, Final Fight Mega Drive." Um, he was actually explaining it's not mature, it's not finished. It's getting there, but it's not quite finished yet. It has its bugs, and he's sort of, again, expressing those frustrations. And then he asked Patreon supporters, "Shall I release this game? Shall I release it as it is? Just get it out there. Then I can just focus on other games." He's working on multiple other games at the moment, and so he's like, "Shall I just get it out there and let people just play it, even though it's not finished? Maybe work on it in the background, but not dedicate as much time, or should he try and make it a priority and finish the game first?" Overwhelmingly, it seems most of the people responded, "Finish it first and publish a stable game." But all the comments actually do sort of say, "Whatever you're comfortable with, man. We'd love to see it, published as a stable game, but do what's best for you," which is really good because the support on the Patreon community is really good for it. Um, and then he responded with another post just after that to sort of say, and let's just bring this up. He talks about the project progress and the future work. So he then basically listed out all the different projects he's been working on and his plans for them. So this is not set in stone. Things can change, obviously, but he looks like he's understood people want to see the game, so he's going to make it a priority to finish Final Fight. I intend to finish. He says, I intend to release it by Christmas this year, even if I don't reach version 1.0. So he's going to try and progress to the end of the year. Hopefully, he gets it out. From what I've played of it, it's pretty much complete. I didn't really experience any glitches myself, but there have been reports of some bugs and stuff. He is also working on a game called Drift in Rage, which we've covered on the show before, which is a really cool kind of outrun style game, but it's got like weapons and stuff in it. The demo he's released doesn't have weapons, but it's just got the driving mode, and it's really cool. And I'm very excited for this. But he's put that on pause to dedicate himself to Final Fight. But I intend to focus on it to finish by mid 2026, with a release also on cartridges and official distribution, because that is a game that he owns the rights to. He's made it from scratch. So that's going to be really cool. So really looking forward to that. He's also got a few other games which we haven't really covered. There's Bullet Rhythm, which is a music game. It needs to be completely rewritten. There's going to be no beta versions of that. So even Patreon supporters, it looks like it's not going to get any beta versions. Legend of Draconis. It's an RPG that he's working on. It's not going to be released next year, but he hopes there will be demo versions available. Into Darkness, he's put that on hold until he can find a partner. And Mazes of Chaos, which is a sequel to Into the Darkness, although it's a completely different genre, he says. Um, so yeah, he's basically planning for any commercial games that he releases going to hopefully have official cartridge and digital distribution. Patreon supporters will receive beta versions where possible. And yeah, it looks like he's planning to go ahead with Final Fight, which is really cool because that's a game that I think a lot of people want to play. And in fact, just before recording this, he released another announcement about Final Fight, which was really good. So it's a bit more positive now. Essentially, is talking about more of the extra options that you can get in Final Fight Mega Drive. Yeah, he's got some screenshots up there, sort of showing all the different things, but there's lots of features you can do. This is only in the Mega mode that he's calling it, so it's I guess a Mega Drive exclusive mode where you can add different things, like you can have up to 3 players, which we've spoken about before. But lots of other features. He talks about the achievements as well. He's created lots of achievements for the game. And just to go through some of the list of what he talks about. So you can set to fixed FPS mode, automatic mode, which has a variable FPS. You can turn off achievement notifications and sound effects, which can, especially if you're streaming a game, that can get in the way, can distract from the game. So you can turn that off. You can still get the achievements, but you just don't get notified, which some people will like. And then options for Mega Mode. You can change the boss songs. You can turn off certain things like air combos, turn off all the extra moves, possibly facing all bosses again. You can turn off things like no food items, so you can't regenerate health. Make your enemies random except for the bosses. One punch mode, so you kill everything in one punch. Invincibility, and then there's other extra features like boss rush mode. That's a mouthful. Bonus stage mode, nightmare difficulty, stage select. So yeah, these are all really cool features. Again, none of this was in the original home releases of this, but obviously not in the arcade. So I think the Game Boy Advance did have some of these options that you could unlock, but it's great to see this being added to this game. It was making it just like the complete package, basically. So very excited, really happy. He seems to be, he's going to work on it until the end of the year at least. So I guess we'll wait and see. Hopefully by the end of December, we'll see if it's got a complete version or a near complete version, and we can report a bit more on that. I'm really happy. Okay, and next up, Star Fox 64. It's not complete yet, but very recently there have been three new builds released. So we don't have access to this. This is actually from the Sega guys who've put this out. They've done quite a decent report on it. So August 20th, they released a build which had some improvements, so fixed lots of bugs. And then just October 28th, they released a new version which improved lots of lighting, improved the textures, made them closer and sometimes better than the original Nintendo 64 game. And then they released another version. So they've got one in November 4th, so it started this month. Another version, again, which vastly improved the lighting effects, made it brighter because it was quite dark originally, improved the textures, faster, smooth animations, especially on the bosses they've noted, better frame rate all round. Also, apparently, originally, because the Dreamcast controller triggers are actually quite, flexible, they're going quite far. When trying to pull some maneuvers originally, it was a bit difficult because you had to really put it in and to do different maneuvers. They're saying that now you don't put it as far. So I guess using the analog, you say you need to push it a tiny bit. And now that game registers that you've made that trigger pull. So apparently it's a lot easier to pull off the more complex barrel roll and other maneuvers. And they've sort of said it's nearing completion. It's not quite there. Apparently there's some graphical issues, but mostly on the 2D images, which is interesting. And also the audio is not looping correctly. So apparently when the game's audio, if it's still on a level where the game's audio is playing, it gets to the end of the audio, it doesn't automatically loop. It will have a pause for a bit and then be quiet, and then it will loop back in. So still a little bit of a way to go. But overall, and like you can just look at the quality of the game at the moment, like the water level and stuff. You can see everything's a lot clearer in space. The draw distance is a lot further away, so you can see things coming ahead. Lens flare looking a lot better there in the cutscenes. So yeah, overall looking forward to it. So yeah, the game is, you can play it from start to finish. Only a handful of people have actually got access to this at the moment, so it's not available. When it is released, you will have to build it yourself, a bit like with GTA 3, because the game's code is not licensed. So, yeah. Hopefully, though, it'll be released soon and will come out. Very exciting. And next up, we have a Kickstarter for a new game that's coming to the Neo Geo and Dreamcast. So this is Bang Bang Busters 2. If you don't know, the original Bang Bang Busters was created by Visco and is a Neo Geo arcade classic, essentially. This new version has been created by Pixel Heart Team. So it's a sequel, apparently it's a direct sequel to the original game. It's been negatively developed for the Neo Geo system, the MVS and the AES. It's also going to be available on Dreamcast as well. So my understanding is the Neo Geo is only really Japan and America, but the Dreamcast is going to be America, Japan, and PAL regions as well, which is very exciting. And Pixel Heart do great work. Really big fan of their stuff. So yeah, really cool to see this. It's currently on Kickstarter. There are 13 days to go at the time of recording. So hopefully by the time this comes out, there will still be time for you to make a pledge and yeah, try and pick it up. They do great stuff. So I'm just excited to play this and another new Dreamcast release. Always fantastic. And finally, you may have heard about this, you may maybe not. Dream Disc 24. Now that, if you might have heard about this, essentially last year, the team at Orkface Games and in collaboration with Dreamcast Junkyard and someone else who I've forgotten, apologies, Psyop Studios, that's it. They released a competition essentially, and indie developers put forward demos for Dreamcast games that they're working on, brand new Dreamcast games. And there was a competition, and it ran from December till January. Some winning games were chosen, and they made a compilation disc called Dream Disc 24. Now, the actual final release of Dream Disc 24 actually came out in October, I believe, this year. Some people have got their hands on the physical disc just recently at the start of November. It was as a free release as such, you just had to pay for shipping, but there's also a digital version available. So if you did want to get your hands on it, the disc version is currently sold out, but you can, I believe you can pre-order it. It's in the pre-order state. That's it, yeah. But you can download the digital edition, so you can use it on an emulator or burn it to your own CDR. But essentially, it's some really cool games from indie developers that were created for the Dreamcast. So there's just demos that show off the games that are possibly coming out in the future. Hopefully they will. But the cool thing is, they are now running Dream Disc 25. So there we go. So Dream Disc 25, they've just announced it. So from December the 1st, 2025 until the end of February 2026, they are teaming up games. Orkface Games are teaming up once again with Psyop Studios and the wider Dreamcast community for another game jam. So they are asking for people to submit their games onto, you can get together on their itch.io. So they've got a page on there as well, where essentially you can submit your games, and they will have another competition. They will choose the top games. Last time they had 10, maybe they might be able to have more. It depends on the disc size, really, I guess. And yeah, so very exciting. If you are making an indie Dreamcast game, please reach out to them. Please try and get it on there. We'd love to see more of it. And if you want to check out Dream Disc 24, go to Orkface Games. We'll put a link in the description and stuff. But yeah, you can download the digital version today and play it, or you can pre-order another disc version, which hopefully they will be releasing some more discs. But if you go for the disc, you do have to pay for shipping, but otherwise it's a free game. Brilliant. Cool. And that will do it for the news, really. So yeah. And there we have it. That's the news for this week. Hopefully this solo attempt at the news works okay. Please let us know what you think. We are going to have to bear with us for a few more episodes, unfortunately, because due to time restrictions and time zones, it's a bit hard to manage it. But yeah, please give us any feedback. And with that, let's crack on with our feature discussion.
Fuck me. I hope you didn't hear that.
Definitely heard that.
Sorry. I tried to pick up my Game Gear, but instead smashed it against my monitor and then dropped the Game Gear.
I think we have to keep that in. Actually, that's brilliant.
Jesus Christ. I wanted to be dramatic and, like, hold it real close and then zoom out so you could see it, but I can't even describe it. It's dumb. This is my monitor, this is the Game Gear. It's like, boom, boom, like, two-hit combo for the poor thing.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Uh,
Cool. So yeah, on to our feature discussion. And this week we are looking at, well, this, as mentioned in the start, there are two Sega systems that are actually celebrating pretty big anniversaries this year. One is the Master System, and the other is Game Gear. So the Master System, that released in Japan October 20th, 1985. It's released in Japan under the Mark III, but that makes it 40 years old this year. So I know it's not October anymore. We kind of missed that, but we had other, Halloween-y stuff to go through. So better late than never. In North America, it was released in 1986. So maybe next year we might look into a little more of an anniversary episode focusing on that next year. And the Game Gear was released on the 6th of October, 1990. So that makes it 35 years young. Yeah. And in North America, it was released actually, this is interesting. So the rest of the releases for the Game Gear I thought were very interesting. I just wanted to point them out. In North America, they had a New York and Los Angeles launch on the 15th of April, 1991. But then it was 26th of April, 1991, where it rolled out nationwide. So a bit of a staggered launch in Australia. And similarly in Europe. Oh, was that?
No, I don't know. They did that for the Nintendo for the NES that released in only New York first, if I remember
Okay.
correctly. I don't know. Like, I forget if it was that one, so I might be misquoting, but I do recall that consoles would release in just New York first to see how they do, and then kind of like how movies do limited releases almost. But
Okay.
so I don't know if that was, it's hard to find these dates for this stuff sometimes with the older
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I didn't know that for the other systems. I guess that kind of makes sense in some ways. I guess most of the time I'm used to just a rollout of everything. But I
Right.
feel like Mega Drive and stuff was all rolled out on one date in each country and things like that. So for me, it seems like a unusual thing, and like in Europe as well. So Europe had a similar thing here, by the looks of it.
Mm.
So it launched in the UK on the 29th of June, 1991. And then the rest of Europe just had a massively staggered approach. So like each country had a different launch date.
Very
So
strange.
it's kind of launched mid to late 1991. So from June going to the end of 1991, basically Europe rolled out per country, which I just thought was again another interesting approach. Really, maybe logistically, hardware difficulties, shipping, politics. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah, nothing really released worldwide day and date. I don't think that really kicked in. People say Sonic Tuesday kicked it off with February 2nd. Some people say Halo 2 kicked it off. I forget. Like, release dates were never there was never a solid release date formula in the 90s.
Mm.
And then at one point, I think it started to become Tuesdays because, like, movies and music would all release or, like, at least get shipped to stores on a Tuesday. I remember at one point. I only
Okay.
know that from, like, I think working in retail, and I would hear that throughout stuff.
I feel like in the UK it's like over Wednesday, a Thursday, or Friday. Maybe Friday they were released, but things
Mhm.
were shipped on a
I
Thursday.
believe it.
Yeah, from memory, a lot of things. Because I remember sometimes you'd see a game on a Wednesday or a Thursday, you're like, oh, this isn't really out yet. It's like, yeah, we got it
Mhm.
early, and we're going to be naughty and sell it early.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so yeah, we are focusing on the Game Gear today. I think I'm going to be speaking on Scotty's behalf for a little bit. You can chime in when you want to, but I believe we've both played the Game Gear a lot more than the Master System. I know for
Oh,
me,
yes.
especially, the Game Gear's been more of a I've had more of a love affair with the Game Gear. Is that the right way to say? I don't know if that's the right thing to say. um, I feel like what words am I trying to say here, Scotty?
Was it a guilty pleasure? Were you cheating on your Game Boy with it? I don't know.
I think that all the words I just said were completely wrong. I've got more of a connection. I've got more of a connection with the Game Gear in that. it's more part of my childhood. I played it a lot more. The games on it, I've got more of a fond memories of the game. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And Scotty, are you similar?
I am so different. No, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I recognize its flaws. I was always tired of the battery jokes, but it was low hanging fruit, and still, still today, I feel like, or maybe more so today, because I have my giant adult hands. Like I was holding the chromatic, and like I have to like clamp my fingers together. I prefer the size of the Game Gear because of you're not God, what is wrong with us? Oh, it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
I like it to hold, and there are some cool games on it. So yeah, I never felt like I could be excited about my Sega enthusiasm, and I feel like I should have said this in the first episode. I was always the Sega kid amongst the Nintendo people, even
Okay.
in my friends group, except for two people. I've mentioned my buddy Tucker before, who introduced me
Hmm.
to Zero Tolerance and basically Sega, and I
Hmm.
don't think I've mentioned before, but my buddy Ben, who was like the only other person that had a Dreamcast. So the Game Gear was just another like, I have this, but who's gonna talk about Sega games with me, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I
So it
feel like
felt weird to be excited about it. Does that make
for
sense?
me, yeah, yeah, no, totally. That actually totally makes sense. Yeah, I think for me growing up, most people had Game Boys. Like,
Sure.
but three people down my street had Game Gears, um,
Hmm.
randomly. So I used to swap games with them, like trade games with them,
Oh, nice.
or no, loan. I guess the loan games we'd always give them back
Yeah.
to each other. But yeah, so that was
Borrow.
always fun. But yeah, just randomly down my street. My street seemed to be popular with a Sega, a Sega street. um, and weirdly though, Mega Drive and Super Nintendo is a mix. Like half people seem to have Mega Drives, half people had Super Nintendos. But also, weirdly, the console wars didn't seem to exist at my school when I was a kid. As in,
Oh.
if you had a Super Nintendo and I had a Mega Drive, we'd both be like, "Oh, cool! You've got Sonic or you've got Mario.
Hmm.
I'll come around and play at your house." Or they were both good systems that we both liked, but I could only afford a Mega
Yeah.
Drive. They could afford a Nintendo. That's the way it's meant to be.
I think I only knew of it through magazines and stuff. I never had people that I had friends who would say, like, "This sounds better on the SNES than the Genesis," and I would just be like, "I'm just gonna hold my tongue, so it's not worth arguing." That wasn't until, like, way later on. But, yeah, as a kid, I remember I think we were talking about Echo. I did have a girl that babysat me. She introduced me to Echo, and she would, like, bring that over for us to play, but I
Nice.
never really had arguments with people, but it would be a lot of, like, I'm the Genesis kid, and, I would never bring my games over, but I would play games with people that were or I would play I would gaming at my friend's house was always the Nintendo or the
Okay,
SNES.
fair enough. Yeah. No,
So,
yeah, we used to take consoles to each other's houses and just go, "Oh, you got Streets of Rage. This is awesome. We've got Street Fighter 2 or something." Yeah,
so
it was just a thing. But yeah, yeah, I lived in my happy ignorance. It was great. Um,
same.
anyway, Game Gears. Sorry.
Game Gears, baby.
So yeah, I guess for anyone who perhaps doesn't know about the Game Gear, I'll just give a quick bit of a brief intro to it. Actually, in fact, let's have a little video playing in the background while we do this. Let's see if I can get the video I want going.
We're gone.
Ooh, we've disappeared. There we
We're
go.
back.
We're back. Cool. So yeah, if you don't know about the Game Gear at all, it was. I've just lost all my notes. Fantastic. Yeah, so it was essentially Sega's answer to the Nintendo Game Boy. The Game Boy launched 21st of April 1989, so it was a little bit before the Game Gear, well, about a year before the Game Gear. But the key selling point of the Game Gear was landscape design, as you just mentioned, so a bit more
Mhm.
comfortable to hold. Backlit backlit color LCD. It's also built on Master System adjacent hardware, so it's easy to port and adapt 8-bit Sega content from Master System to the Game Gear, which kind of gave it a bit of a boost in terms of the amount of games you could get on there, or quickly port games across. It also had lots of cool like accessories like TV tuner and Master System converter, which we'll get onto in a bit. But it also, yeah, and it also had quite a decent strong presence in terms of licenses and stuff,
Mm.
and a decent Western catalog. but it also had its downsides, which was like the 6 batteries, which we mentioned, had a very bad battery life. Also, over time, you did get screen blur, and the caps, the visual. I can't remember what they're called, but there's caps inside the Game Gear which age and ruin the screen basically over time, which is
Yeah.
a bit of a downside. Interestingly, or mistakenly, a lot of people consider this to be the first color handheld system, but it was not. That was actually the Atari Lynx,
Mm.
which launched in America originally in September 1989. So not long after the Game Boy, a color system did come out, which was the Atari Lynx, but that was nowhere near as successful as either the Game Boy or the Game Gear, essentially. Um, but yeah, I mean, we touched on this already a little bit, Scotty. But what was your first experience with the Game Gear? Did you own one
Um,
back in the day?
yeah, I did have one back in the day, and I honestly don't remember if I got it for a holiday, like if it was a gift, a Christmas or a birthday gift. I really don't remember. I just remember that it was mainly played on like in the car on the way to relatives, like on the way to grandma's house or something. I have a red one here that is not my original
Ooh,
Game Gear. My original
nice.
Game Gear died, and it was a black one. This red one, my last roommate and his now fiance got it for me. It's a recapped red Game Gear, so it is an American Game Gear, but painted red. And but I did have one back in the day. I have a blue one that I forgot about until I was playing this for this episode. I bought a blue Game Gear that had busted speakers or something, and I sent that off to Corey, our mutual friend Corey, to fix it. I don't know what happened to it, but I know he has it. So I theoretically have a blue and a red Game Gear.
Corey, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Oh, man. So,
But my
sorry, is your
yeah.
red one is painted red
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. It's recapped. I don't have batteries in it right now, so I don't have but you can see that like the copyrights
okay?
and stuff are all in the back and everything. Like if I
Okay.
open up one of the battery areas, it's red in there too. So they did completely repaint the whole
Wow.
thing.
Okay. So it's
Um
not the Coca-Cola one,
no, it's just
officially
the
released.
it's
Okay.
just fully red.
Still pretty
Uh
cool.
and I like to sometimes hold it next to the micro, never
Oh,
speak
that's
to me
cool.
or my son ever again kind of
Oh,
thing. But unfortunately, when I was playing this for this episode, the sound no longer works.
ah,
And so I need to get that fixed. That's annoying,
don't
but
send it
it
to
does
Corey.
still play games. Yeah, right. Uh, my go-tos though, maybe it's because I was on the road, but I always like to play Road Rash and Sonic Drift
Oh, cool.
mainly on
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So I don't know if they're my favorites, but that's what I played back in the day.
Nice.
And it was always also like the Game Gear was kind of mine. The Game Boy was my brother's, and we would sometimes swap and stuff, but we never had. I never had my own Game Boy brick. We never had two of the one. Each of us didn't have our own. Like we didn't each have a Game Gear. We didn't each have a Game Boy, which you would think if my parents were smart, they would have saved money probably doing that. But it is what
Hmm.
it is. What
Yeah.
about you?
So yeah, I got one. I don't think it was. It was quite soon after launch from memory. It wasn't directly on launch. So I have a birthday in December, so I often get birthday and Christmas presents together. And
Hmm.
my lovely grandma, rest in peace, rest her soul, she gave me the choice of a Game Boy or a Game Gear one
Ah.
Christmas birthday thing. And I saw, like, I knew about the Game Gear. I knew more about the Game Boy because I played at friends' houses. But I'd
Mhm.
seen the Game Gear and I was like, that looks cool. I want the cool color thing. That's the cheese I want to
Sure.
chase.
Okay, alright.
And she was just like, "Yep, go for it." Okay. And so yeah, we she got that for me for my birthday Christmas, and it came with the Sega 4-in-1 game pack or something it was called.
Oh. Oh, mine came with columns, I didn't mention that, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. The Sega 4-in-1 game pack was really cool actually.
4 in 1.
Actually, I
Huh.
think I had a video set up for this as well. A tennis game where Sonic was like on the little the umpire stand. It came with
Okay.
a version of columns, which I actually think is a better version of columns. It's like called flash columns, but it was the way you scored points and stuff was
Oh,
different to normal columns.
okay.
It has a penalty shootout game, so like a football soccer game, which I hated. I wasn't very good at it. And they also had this racing game, which I'm sort of displaying on the screen right now,
Hmm.
which is basically like a mini version of kind of like a bit like Outrun or Sega Rally, like an 8-bit Sega Rally is probably the best way to
Wow.
explain it. It was so much fun. Like,
These were all
this,
on one cartridge, though, because I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
you ow. I thought you meant you got 4 games with it, but
Oh,
now that
no,
I
no.
look it up, it is 1 cartridge.
Yeah,
That's crazy to me.
I mean, they are relatively the racing game is relatively short. And once you clock it, you can
Sure.
beat it quite quickly. The tennis game can go on for quite a while, I guess. Columns, the columns last for ages, and then the penalty shootout, which, yeah, as I
Hmm.
said, I don't love. Yeah, some people did though. My brother was good at it. I just didn't like it very much, but it was great. It's a great little bundle pack.
Yeah,
And yeah,
that's cool. That's a much better deal.
later on, yeah, later on, I got
Cool.
other games like Sonic 2 and plenty of other games afterwards. But that lasted me a while. That little 4 little games,
Right.
which awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's me. Yeah.
Let's go into the launch.
Yeah, it's going to the launch. Yeah. So okay. this is this is interesting. So I think Scotty, you had the same issue that I had. Trying to
Yeah.
actually find the specific launch dates for a lot of games was surprisingly difficult. But we
I
did
got real
find,
tired real quick cross-referencing dates for these things.
yes, yeah, it was quite painful at times. But we did find a list. So I actually pulled together a little list of games. These were all released not necessarily on the actual launch day, but the launch month for each region.
The launch
So in
window.
the launch window, as it were. So in Japan, you had columns. You had a game called Pengo, um, which both were puzzle games, different types of puzzle games. You also got Super Monaco Grand Prix, racing game, pretty standard. There's also a strategy game called Zangier, which I do not understand.
Yeah.
It's all in
We're
Japanese.
looking at it right now on the
Yeah,
stream here.
it's very Japanese. Yeah, I can. I even tried to look up guides for it and stuff. I couldn't. Um, and then in America, so you had Columns and Super Monaco Grand Prix. You also got Dragon Crystal, which was a sort of roguelike RPG. Um, you got G-Lock Air Battle, which is based on the arcade flight simulator. There was also an action platformer called Psychic World, which was pretty fun actually. Yeah, basically, platformer, you shoot laser bolts at creatures and stuff. And then there's a bit. I'm not sure. I couldn't find the specifics on this, but Wonder Boy might have been released in America as well, but it was definitely released in Europe, and also Cast of Illusion. So like that was definitely released in Europe in the launch month. Again, maybe in America as well during the launch month. Um, but yeah, those were the launch games basically. So some pretty big titles that came out with it. So some arcade ports, like scaled down 8-bit arcade ports, some pretty big titles like with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So did you experience much of these launch titles, Scotty? What did you think? How do you think it compares
So
to other systems?
I wanted to mention just because I thought of it. Also, here's my bag of nonsense, my Game Gear games, and
Nice,
then
nice.
I counted. I have 25 Game Gear games. Some of those are repeats. My Nomads in here too, but
Yeah.
I have a ridiculous thing to carry my Game Gear. Carry like I take this anywhere. It just sits in the closet. But Wonder Boy over here, I randomly bought this at a convention. It's called Revenge of DreamCon, and
Ooh,
I
nice.
like.
Looking bigger.
I mean,
Looking
look
bigger.
at this freaking. This was $5 at a convention. Look at that freaking cover. Of course, you'd grab that for $5. It's like a volcano with a demon coming out of the smoke from the volcano and just chaos. And it says "Revenge of DreamCon." And I put it in. It's freaking Wonder Boy, the dude running along in a grass skirt with a hat on. Um, I was just like, "Oh, this is not what I thought it was," but Wonder Boy's cool, so I'm
Yeah.
still a good purchase. No, I mean,
Yeah.
like, Columns, that was the Tetris of the Game Gear, bundled with the Game Gear, so I played a good bit of that. Kind of going down the Super Monaco Grand Prix. It's not great. I put in the notes here, pretty lackluster and horribly difficult.
Mhm.
Dragon Crystal is cool. I played that on the 3DS eShop a while ago. I probably still have it on my
Oh
3DS,
yeah.
but it's okay. It's not my thing, but um I do have here. I never played it, but I do own it. So it is on my
Right.
3DS.
Okay.
G-Lock, I played it for this episode. The graphics are good for the time, but oh my gosh, that game is like either you're doing great or horrible. You die immediately or you beat the level. That's it in my experience. And then Psychic World, only played it for this episode, but it was cool. A little
Mm,
platformer, you get different weapons. I had to look up what the icons meant though, because I still couldn't figure out what I was doing with
yeah,
the weapons that I had. And then what was the Castle of Illusion. I mean, it's Mickey, it's Castle of Illusion. Um, kind of harder than it feels like it needs to be, in my opinion, but decent music. Um, and then Pango, I enjoyed playing that, but it gets tricky. It's a weird puzzler where you have to push the blocks against
wow,
enemies.
yeah,
It almost looks like it's set up like a vertical arcadey, like Pac-Man size and layout almost, but you have to
yeah,
push blocks at enemies and squish them. I could see myself playing more of that, but I like puzzle games, so.
yeah, yeah. That's understandable. Yeah,
But, like, before this episode, the only ones I played beforehand was literally Columns and Wonder Boy, and I guess if you count Castle of Illusion, the remake I did forever ago, but yeah.
okay, yeah. Yeah, I think so. For me, when I actually first owned my Game Gear, I didn't get them necessarily straight away, but back in the day, back in the 90s, I did. I owned Columns. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of puzzle games like that. Like Tetris, I do enjoy. Columns, I do enjoy, but I get to a point
Yeah.
that I'm just like, I'm done. Although I was going to record some footage for this episode, or play
Mhm.
as I was playing it. I did the best I've ever done in Columns. I was playing for over an hour. Like
Alright.
I was just like I was, like, on fire. I was like, "I normally,
In
like,
the
last 5
zone.
minutes in this game." I was, like, just going crazy, and it's just like, "Wow." But I still only got up to level 9. Level 9 seemed to last forever. Like, I after,
Oh.
like, 20 minutes, I was on level 9, and then for the next
Mm.
40 minutes, I seemed to be on level 9 still. And
Mhm.
it was getting too fast. I was just like, "This is I can't handle it anymore." Um, but yeah, weirdly, I did the best I've ever done, which is great.
Nice.
And I played Super Monaco Grand Prix. My friend down the street had it, so that's one of the people I
Mhm.
sort of swapped a game with. And yeah, was never a huge fan of racing games. The one in the 4-in-1 game pack I really enjoyed, but Super Monaco Grand Prix, it's more, it's a bit too,
It's
it's
just
kind of
like
too realistic, and I
yeah,
don't enjoy those
there's
games. So.
stuff on the sides of the road that you hit every 3 seconds, like, you can't
Yeah,
it's
it,
not I don't know if it's not good or if I'm bad at it, but I was not having fun playing it.
yeah. I think once you get used to it, you can avoid that. But yeah, it's not. I
Mm.
think it's not as fun as a lot of other racing games. But if you like racing games, it seemed pretty good for its time, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and G-Lock Air Battle, my brother actually owned it for my Game Gear. It's my Game Gear, but my brother got it one
I think
birthday. But I played it a lot, and I love G-Lock on the Game Gear. It was
okay.
I think we completed it when we were younger. But yeah, it's challenging. There's a bit of a strategy to it though, because you have to buy and upgrade your weapons and your fuel tank. So if you don't know, your fuel tank is also your life. So
Oh,
yeah,
well, that explains a
basically
little
try
bit.
and upgrade that as fast as possible, and then you can survive more hits. And make sure you don't run out of missiles or bullets, because once you run out of them, you can't beat the level, and then you're stuck on the level basically until you die. That's my pro tip there for you. But yeah, really good fun. I think the graphics, I prefer the graphics on that to the Mega Drive game. Mega Drive's a lot flatter. Game Gear version's a bit more 3D almost.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's not really 3D, but they get that bit of effects. Wonder Boy. So Wonder Boy in the UK has the same box art, the cartridge art with the volcano and stuff, but it's called Wonder Boy. And I love that. I used to play it in the arcade, and when we got in the Game Gear, I was like, "This is amazing." I was rubbish at it though. My brother was really good. I'm a lot better than I used to be though, because I played it again. I was like, "Oh, I can actually get past bits I couldn't get past when I was younger."
It's yeah, it's a
Um,
one-hit kill game though too, to keep in
Yes,
mind.
it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And Castle of Illusion was one of my favorite Game Gear games. It still is. I love it. Yeah, it's when I replayed it, I was actually like, oh, I've lost all my abilities, because I used to beat that game quite easily, and yeah, I lost a lot of my
I
skill.
was yeah, I was not doing well in it. I definitely prefer World of Illusion, but
Right.
it is what and
Yeah.
I realized oh, sorry, did you have more to say about
I was,
Castle? I was gonna mention
yeah, I was
something.
going to say the Game Gear version I think is harder than the Mega Drive version. The
That
level
makes
designs,
sense.
they have similar levels, but the level designs and the way the game plays is definitely tougher on the Game Gear. Um,
I
yeah.
realized going through my, bag of mystery with the Game Gear that I actually own Land of Illusion on the Game Gear.
Yes.
Never played it. I think I randomly bought it thinking it was something else, but I just haven't, yeah.
Please play that game. It's
Well, when I get my
brilliant.
sound fixed, I mean, I can still play stuff, but it is odd playing things in
Yeah.
mute.
Can you put headphones in? Have you got
I
like,
tried that too, it didn't work, so it's
that
definitely
sucks.
like the chip or something.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Um, but I did actually play all of these games for this episode. And yeah,
Oh, I did try Zangier too. Sorry.
yeah, Zangier, I didn't even understand it. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Nope.
Pengo, you say it gets hard. It's I died so many times on the first level. I was
Oh,
like, this is tough. This is a
I
tough
like
puzzle
it.
game. I enjoyed it though. I got to level 4 or something, and I was like, this is good. I'm not very skillful at that. I need to get. It's
I
one of those
kept
games I
calling
think I
it
need to keep
Flicky.
playing.
But it's not Flicky. That's a
It's
different
not
bird
Vicky.
on a Sega console.
Yeah. And yeah, it's also Psychic World. I also played it for this, only for a little bit, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought this is a fun little platformer. So
Yeah.
yeah, some pretty cool
I f
games.
I feel like out of all of them, Psychic World probably has the most depth. Good pixel art in that, though. Did you, like,
Mm.
watch the whole intro movie?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
intro movie was really good for it. Like,
very
yeah,
surprising how good that artwork was in there,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, yeah. Do we moving the conversation along? Do we think these launch titles help the Game Gear stand out from the rivals like the Game Boy and the Atari Lynx at the time, and the other rivals that were out there? Um, like, what do you think? Do you think it's a good, solid, strong
Uh,
lineup?
I think it's crazy that they launched with a Disney game. That's brave. Maybe it was just ready. I don't know, but um, there was no Sonic, so again, it's like kind of strange. But Sonic was eventually out. I again take these notes with a grain of salt. Sonic released apparently 8 months later in North America for the Game Gear, 6 months later in the UK, and maybe only 2 months later in Japan. And I wrote here bold and baffling, Sega, that Sonic did not
Well,
launch with it
it makes
or
sense in a
something.
way because Sonic didn't exist in Japan when the Game Gear launched.
True. Yep.
And
Mhm.
then I think they wanted to get the Genesis Mega Drive game out before they got the Game Gear game out to introduce Sonic to the world and be like, this is an
Sure.
amazing character who's super fast. Look at how fast he can go. Whoa, blast processing. Whoa. That's my only understanding. So I kind of do understand that in a way. Like for Japan, logistically, he didn't exist.
Right.
North America,
Yeah.
Europe, maybe it makes sense to hold back because even though I think Sonic One on the Game Gear is really really good, the Mega Drive game is obviously way more impressive. Like to
Mhm.
be a showcase of this is the new mascot you want to play. Boom, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think though packaging it with columns was an obvious reactionary move to Tetris.
Hmm.
Columns is not Tetris. Columns is so much more slow paced, and the I would argue the music might be kind of better. I don't know. I like the music in columns, but I'm still playing Tetris decades later. I don't go back to columns ever.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think, I think Collins for puzzle games and stuff, it's a really good puzzle game. But Tetris was just iconic.
Hmm.
I actually really love the music in Columns. As I was playing it, I was like humming along to it, going, "I remember this. This is great."
Dum dum
But
dum dum.
Tetris, the
Wait.
main Tetris music, the
Dum
one that
dum dum
the
dum dum.
default one, yeah, just
Yeah.
you can hum it and you just know it. Like, yeah. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, it makes sense. They wanted to say, "Hey, we've got a you've got Tetris. We've got a colorful thing with all these flashing colors and stuff."
Right.
But yeah, it's not Tetris.
Yeah, Tetris was a legitimate phenomenon. Like,
Yeah,
that's like trying to go up against the Wii and Wii Sports almost, you
yeah,
know?
basically,
So,
yeah. Which I guess Microsoft tried to do with Kinect climbing or
sure did.
yeah, Kinect. Oh dear.
Yeah, where's
Um,
Milo?
yep. Oh man, where's Milo? What happened to that kid?
Ugh.
But yeah, I for me, I think it's pretty. I think it's a very solid lineup. They, as I mentioned, they got some big arcade games like G Lock and Wonder Boy, which were big in the arcade originally, coming to a little 8-bit system, and then you know Disney tie-ins, Castle Illusion, really cool. And
It is a
it's
good
fantastic game.
variety. Yeah, it's a better variety outside of Japan because Japan got puzzle, racing, strategy,
Yeah,
but everybody else at least got, like, platformers and, stuff outside of those genres.
yeah. So yeah, um, yeah. I think it did. In a way, I think it to answer the question, I think it did help stand out, like as give a bit of an impact for the console, but
Mhm.
maybe some things like columns was just missed the mark a bit because it's hard to compete with that sort of thing
Yeah.
like Tetris.
Yeah, they shoulda leaned hard into Disney if they could have somehow with Mickey on there,
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
but also that would have, like, been a juxtaposition with Sega being like, "We're the edgy teen console. You like Mickey?" you know? So maybe that's what yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit difficult, isn't it?
they
Yeah.
never you never hear, like, in the history in the annals of Sega lore or whatever, you never really hear them talk about the plan with the Game Gear. It's always the plan with the Genesis and Mega
Yes.
Drive and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the foresight that they had was or they thought they had for this.
Yeah. And I tried to find video footage of this, but I actually couldn't find it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I probably didn't have enough time. But the American launch, apparently they spent a lot of money on a massive marketing campaign. I
Hmm.
don't know if you know about this. Apparently, they basically had the USS Intrepid. They had like some sort of launch event on the USS Intrepid, and they had like I think
What?
a jet fighter land or something on the USS Intrepid, and like someone
For
dropped
the
out with
Game
Game Gear.
Gear?
Yeah, yeah, and they're like, "Hey, this is how cool the Game Gear is. We're faster, right?" And they gave away Game Gears and stuff, and it's like a whole big thing. I've found multiple sources talking about it, and apparently there is video footage somewhere, but I can't find it. I think if you were there, you'd know, or it's a massive hoax, and I've been duped by multiple websites. So,
Yeah, Sega Retro does talk about it. The first batch of Game Gear consoles and software arrived on the docked USS Intrepid aircraft carrier
mhm.
um, in New York. On board were 600 avid Sega fans, is in quotes here, kids which had been mobilized by the likes of local radio stations specifically for the event. Of that figure, 100 were sons and daughters of service personnel, makes sense, who had
Ooh,
taken part in Operation Desert Storm and were currently stationed in Fort Hamilton and Totem.
nice.
Okay, sure.
I guess it also kind of makes sense for Sega's heritage being, service games, which made games for the
May
military. That kind
Oh,
of
you're
works.
giving them more credit than I think they even thought to. But I miss crap like that. That doesn't
Yeah,
there's no need for that anymore, but I miss outlandish, over the top marketing like that,
yeah, that would have cost a fair
you
amount, I
know?
think.
"You
So,
wanna check out the new Call of Duty? Well, guess what? We've got this football field size paintball arena for you to do it in." You know? It just doesn't happen anymore.
man, I mean, that'd be awesome. Um, and yeah, speaking about the system launch and stuff, say, and I don't know if it's their strategy, but they did release a lot of, accessories and some pretty popular ones at
Yep.
the time. Which, if we want to chat a
I
bit
don't think I
about them,
had any of them, but yeah, let's do it.
yeah. So I'll bring up a.
I didn't even have the magnifier. I eventually got one of those for my Game Boy, or the Game Boy we had, I think.
Oh, I need. Sorry, just trying to work out my screen sharing thing again.
Mm,
Right. Yeah, Sega Retro. So yeah, I think one of the biggest things was the
mhm,
TV tuner,
mhm,
which now
mm.
that is not showing up very well. There you go. That's a bit better.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Yeah. So the TV tuner, because it was a color portable device. Why not? Why not add a
Yep,
TV tuner to
yep.
to make that travel experience even better? So yeah, they released a TV tuner, so you can watch TV on the go. I did not own one back in the day. I knew someone who did, and it worked. It wasn't
Hmm.
the best quality, but it did work. And
Of
yeah,
course, that antenna go out, though, because 'cause we're seeing it, it's only, like,
oh, from memory, it's like, very it
perfect,
extends
perfect.
pretty long. um, and yeah, I did eventually get one though,
Wow,
after they stopped using analog signal in the UK though. So it
perfect.
all, I think a lot of countries have done this or are doing this. It's all digital TV. So yeah, analog
Mm.
doesn't work. But I have seen online there are videos of how to get your Game Gear tuner working in the modern age, and you have to
Oh,
like
sure.
get
Yeah.
motherboards and chips and plug it into other devices, and you can get TV going if you really want to, or you just get your phone out. you know.
Yeah, yeah, people would, like, laugh at this and be like, "That's insane, why would you need that?" You watch entire like, David Lynch would love this thing. No. There's that quote out there that, like, David Lynch hates that people watch movies on their cell phones, but, like, people watch entire shows and, uh, TV seasons and series and movies on their phones now,
Yeah,
which is a slightly bigger screen than the Game Gear. So,
yeah.
you know,
Did you ever own one or play with one of these?
never touched one in my life. I'm
Ah,
looking them up now. TV Tuner, the Game Gear, or I mean the Japanese version. If you find a complete in box, about 80 bucks. Your neck of the woods about 45 bucks. My neck of the woods about 85. Screw that.
hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it would plug into the cartridge slot, and you would have what looks like a band that you have to tune, like it is a TV tuner. You tune the band to find the channel, and you have an antenna poking up out of your Game Gear. So yes, you would
Yeah.
look like if you had one of those now walking around, you'd look like you're getting ready for the world of Fallout or something.
Yeah. Man, I loved how they advertised it. Like, 'cause in like some of the magazine stuff, they had comic strips, and like this one's a Judge Dredd comic strip with advertising the
Sure.
Game Gear TV tuner. You can't watch TV on the Game Gear. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
What is I can't read this. What does it have? What's Judge Dredd's final words on the Game Gear TV tuner at the end
Okay, let's
there?
have a look.
Are these kids in prison? What's going on?
It does look a bit like that.
Come on,
Dredd.
Mick. It's my turn on the Sega Game Gear. Nah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here, let's read this. I'll be the first kid talking. You be the second kid. All right.
Okay.
Judge Dredd in Drock of Ages. Who's what the? Okay, whatever. Come on, Mick. It's my turn on the Sega Game Gear.
Nah, it'll take you yonks to beat my score. Besides, I want to watch Saint and Grievesy. Sorry, that's my terrible American accent. Maybe
You
I'll do
can't
an
watch
English accent.
TV. That's fine. You can't watch TV on the Game Gear.
I can with this new TV adapter. Just plug it in and it becomes a wicked portable TV.
I can't. Oh, that's Judge Dredd. I'll be him too. Attention, citizens. This is a special broadcast.
Judge Dredd?
I'm announcing a 24-hour amnesty for all owners of banned Sega consoles. Turn them in by midnight, and I guarantee you will not be persecuted.
Huh? Dredd can go fry. No way I'm parting with my Game Gear.
But how did you get on your screen in the first place? Wait, who's talking now? Oh, that's
In a
somebody
TV
else. You can be
studio in
his
the
producer.
22nd century.
Yeah,
Little
you
rock
be
out there.
Judge Dredd's TV producer.
We'll have to do the broadcast again, Dredd. Tech Division beamed the signal back to the late 20th century by mistake.
Drock it! Still, at least they'll have ages to comply with the deadline. What?
Judge Sega's Game Gear TV tuner for your. Sorry, what? Okay, sorry. Judge Sega's Game Gear TV tuner for yourselves. It's built to stand the test of time.
That doesn't even. Oh, to be this good takes ages. To be this good takes Sega. So that makes more sense with what Judge Dredd said at the end there. They'll have ages to comply with the deadline.
I think it's brilliant. That's great.
Um, yeah, it didn't really answer the kid's question of how you're playing TV on the Game Gear. He just like shoved it in his face, and then they suddenly had an emergency broadcast
Mm,
in their prison cell.
man, that's brilliant.
Rocket,
But
drock it,
I love those
drock
sort
it,
of
rock
tie-ins
it.
and
Don't use
adverts they
Brock.
used to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
but
something
apparently
else.
in the future Sega's banned. So what future
That's
do we
right.
want to live in?
Yep, too cool for school. I understand. I did not have. I didn't have any accessories. I don't have. Are there any other ones? I know there was one that could let you use it in airplanes or something. I forget. But
Oh,
yeah.
so there was actually a huge amounts of, but yeah, there were a huge amount of accessories that were launched. Probably one of the biggest ones was the Master Gear Converter, which
Mhm.
essentially let you play Master System games on your Game Gear.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. There is a screw hole in the back. I didn't even notice that until looking at that thing having
yeah,
one.
so yeah, they planned that sort of thing along. So because it's built on kind of the same architecture, it meant that porting games from the Master System was a bit easier, but also you could, in theory, run games. You just needed the converter to actually do that.
Hmm.
From memory, the Game Gear had better colors or something than the Master
I thought
System,
it had
and
more bigger color palette or something.
yes, it had a bigger color palette. I think on screen you could only have up to like 64, 32 colors, but it had a choice of like over 4,000 colors or something crazy, which is higher than the Lynx, and I'm pretty sure higher than the Master System. Also, I think the resolution on the Game Gear was technically better. There's something else about that. So technically, Game Gear games did look a bit better than the Master System, but
Huh.
I think Master System catalog was bigger, so it
Yeah.
meant that you could easily, pop the Master System game in and play that, and expanded your library by like several hundred games, which is really cool. Because there were a lot of games that weren't converted to the Game Gear at the time.
Right on.
Yeah, and then yeah, I think so. Actually, where is it? Oh yeah, so if you actually look at it, so we could go through all the accessories, but we're not going to because there's a lot. So yeah, if we go to Sega Retro, they actually have all these things. There's a lot of some of them are just like carry cases and stuff, but
Hmm.
yeah, there was the car adapter which you mentioned. So yeah, that allows you to plug into the cigarette lighter of your car and then play it on the go, so you don't drain your batteries on the drive. Which sounds like that's what you needed, Scotty.
I should have had that. I wonder if we did.
Yeah.
Um, but there was the uh, I can't remember what it's called, and there's so many things on here.
What did it do?
They let you play it on airplanes. That was the thing. I can't
Ah,
remember now.
okay.
But I'm not going to worry about it. But there is the solar gear,
Why
which
would you
is
not be able to play on? Sorry, why would you not be able to play on a gate on an
I
airplane?
don't know. I might be thinking of something for the Nomad. I have no idea.
Okay,
I'll try to Google it. But yeah, what's the solar gear?
so the solar gear is a solar powered battery pack thing, basically. Um, yeah, so it's an alternative to the six batteries. Yeah, basically it has a large solar panel on it, and so yeah, you plug that in, um, and then kind of place the Game Gear into it. It's like almost like a docking station for the Game Gear, and yeah, power is drawn from the sun to keep the console running. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's what you well, because you would go outside with it all the time.
yeah, in fact, that's what it says. It contradicts the official advice, which suggests not to play the Game Gear in direct sunlight through fear of overheating. I did not know
Yikes.
that. I
Oh
never
boy.
played the Game Gear in direct sunlight because you couldn't see the freaking screen.
Right. Yeah.
I remember my brother used to play rugby for our school, and I remember going to one of his rugby matches, and I wasn't really interested in rugby, and I had my Game Gear with me, and I couldn't see the screen, so I had a coat with me, and I kind of put the coat over my head, and so I was just like hunkered down underneath the coat, so I could actually just see the Game Gear. Like, yes, um, man, yeah, because you just could not see that thing in daylight. So yeah, backlit screens, great idea, did not work so well.
I just sent you a picture in Discord that is one of my favorite memes that I've ever seen. I don't know what game it's from, but it's a character looking straight down at a Game Boy Color or something. Maybe it's a purple console, and the character is just saying, "Cool. No matter how I hold this thing, the sun is shining directly on it, and I can't see shit."
I don't think let's see if I can bring this up.
It's pretty good, and it always makes me laugh because
Uh,
I forget that it exists. I couldn't tell you who made it or anything, or again what game it's obviously not a real um game screenshot, but yeah, there you go.
nice.
So that's handheld gaming. Take it outside, can't see anything.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
The
Man.
Sega Mega Jet was what I was thinking of. It's a semi-portable version of the Mega Drive, designed specifically for use aboard Japan Airlines. They just like had them on an airline, and you could put a Genesis game in, and I think use the TV on the seat in front of you
Oh wow,
or
that's pretty
something.
cool.
So, yeah,
Man,
yeah. JAL Japan airline flights contained a small LCD television installed on the armrests. So yeah, sorry, irrelevant to this, but I was getting it confused with Game Gear stuff.
fair enough. That's okay. There was an advert, a commercial for the Game Gear, which did actually have someone playing. I think it was a Mega Drive or some sort of game system with like a
Oh yeah,
massive TV and a really, really long extension cable. That basically, when they got to like flying heights, it just ripped out the cable. And then the guy's like, "Oh man, can't play my game system on this plane." And then next to
right.
him is this guy with a Game Gear going, "Hey, hey, hey, hey." Um,
I
maybe,
can.
maybe that's you had a cross. Your brain was like, "I remember that advert." Da, 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 da.
Yeah, like that.
Man.
But now
Um,
today it's like,
oh yeah.
yeah.
Take that thing outside and see if you can see it.
Hmm.
Man. Sorry, just for any audio listeners, Scotty held up his micro, say it's Game Gear Micro, the tiny thing that you can barely see anyway.
Yeah, the
Which
size of the Game Gear screen.
yeah. Um,
Moving along though.
moving along. I don't know if we should mention this at all, but there were a lot of Game Gear variants, the models. Do we want to talk about that or
I don't. I mean, there are different colors. America got just black and blue. So that's why I was more excited when I got a red one from some friends.
right?
I think that's all America had. I don't know what you guys had.
I think we only had the black one. I'll quickly share my screen. Just we won't go into too much detail of that, but oh yeah, there we are.
Whoa, you're super staticky. Hold on, let it load. Maybe. Ooh,
How's that?
when you opened up the window, you were a robot, but
Oh,
I
okay.
think you're okay now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, there was quite a few variants released. This got the black one, you said blue one. There was a clear black one. It's Coca-Cola tie-in, which I kind of mentioned
Coca-Cola.
earlier. Another Coca-Cola tie-in. Oh, that was in France. So maybe in Europe we did get some other ones. I only remember
That's
the
a
black one.
sad. Yeah.
There was this one was actually released in the United Kingdom, which was made of gold and diamonds, and it was worth £55,000. So
Great.
that's a lot of cheddar.
Why?
Man, I do not. It's a promotional item
Why?
apparently. I think they only
All
made
right.
one of them. Yeah, and then
I like the
blue.
blue.
Yeah, the blue's really nice. And there was like a Korean version, so the writing's slightly different on it. Um, and Magic Knight Raya. I didn't realize they released one.
Yeah, that's a sought after one for
Yeah,
fans. It's got the
there,
logo on there.
there was Majesco, which was actually a re-release back in the early 2000s. They
Hmm.
had a limited edition or limited run of
The
re-releasing Game Gear hardware.
It's not colored logo up there. It's just
Yeah,
white.
so yeah, it's all white. The logo's all white, and I think those are the main differences. Yeah, it's just the color of the logo's all white, basically. Um, then more, yeah, Japan had a few different colors. There was a Sega Sports one in America,
Hmm.
Virtua Fighter Kids,
Kids gear.
and the white one's pretty sought after as well. And then
Ah.
yellow, and then you got the minis and stuff.
Oh, seeing the yellow one, I remember literally the reason I saw the movie Home Alone 3. On the cover of Home Alone 3, the kid who's like supposed to be the next Kevin McAllister, he has a yellow Game Gear strapped to his belt. And I
No,
was like, "What? Is that an American Game Gear? No, it's not, dummy." But I didn't know that. The internet
man,
wasn't, whenever Home Alone 3 came out, I didn't know how to look things up on the internet.
man. Did they use it in the movie?
No, it was not in there at all. 1997. I was old enough to be able to use the internet. I should
Oh
have.
man, maybe they thought, hey, what would an edgy kid who beats up burglars have on him? A Game
I don't
Gear,
know.
yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
there you go. I sent it to you in Discord if you want to bring it up at all,
Oh,
but
do I?
ridiculous.
Yeah. Um,
That's what got me to watch that movie. It's not good. Don't bother,
oh,
folks.
yeah, I've heard many terrible things about it.
Probably. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't even remember. Yeah, there you go. See, it's like hanging off his belt there.
yeah.
So, I mean, of course, I latched onto that. Are you kidding me? So I
I've
thought,
never noticed that.
dude, yeah. If you
Yeah,
know, you know.
yeah. I never watched the movie though because I've heard so many bad things. But oh well, yeah, cool. But yeah, there were a lot
97, the year it died, even.
of but I guess the point there is that there were a lot of variants you could get. Some of them were
Yeah.
tie-ins with Coca-Cola, tie-ins with video games and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool. Um, so we're obviously not going to go through the whole catalog of Game Gear games, but we are going to look at the final release. It's almost like a comparison between what it launched with and what it ended with. Tying it together. So yeah, Scotty, let's jump right into that. I think.
Do it
And in fact, I've also got a little montage video of this as well, which
from beginning to end. Here we go.
hopefully you will enjoy. Let's go
Oh,
to
wow.
this view, this lovely view here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, going by region, it's hard to find the exact dates of some of this stuff. But in Japan, Sonic Blast was the last released game.
What is
They had
this?
a game, Pet Club Inu Daisuki, which is basically a virtual pet game, virtual toy pet game, which is
Whoa.
pretty
Take
cool.
care of some good boys.
You could take the dog for a walk and stuff.
Hmm.
Then you had Gigi Portrait Pai Chan. So this is Pai or Pei from Virtual Fighter, and it's a weird game. Pan's
Huh.
Dragoon Mini. I can talk more about those portrait games. Yeah, Pan's Dragoon Mini, which is like a small version of Pan's Dragoon, basically, which is actually really fun. Obviously not as advanced as
Hmm.
Pan's Dragoon, but yeah. And then Gigi Portrait Yuki Akira. So yeah, again, I won the
Hmm.
portrait games with Akira instead of Pi or Pei. And then in the US, they had Jurassic Park: The Lost World. or the Lost World Jurassic Park, as it's actually called. So basically based on the movie, you against dinosaurs, and it's a platform game. There was Iron Man slash Exo Man O' War in Heavy Metal. That's the name of the title.
Oh,
Some
right.
action
Remember that from
platform
Saturn, I
shooting
think.
game. There was Virtual Fighter Animation in America as well, and also Europe. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, 2D version of Virtual Fighter. There was X-Men in Mojo World, sort of beat 'em up platformer type game. And then there was also Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. That's one of the last
Hmm.
games in America. Again, full kind of beat 'em up platformer. Um, and then, so yeah, the UK had some of the same games as well as America, but also had Bugs Bunny in Double Trouble was one of the last games that were launched on it. And if you know, you know, it's kind of an interesting game. I think the Mega Drive version is arguably a lot better.
That looks
Um,
pretty good.
Baku Animal was also one of the last ones in Europe and PAL regions. Games or puzzle game, which I've never actually played this, so I don't really know it. There was also PGA Tour '96. If
Mm.
you know, back in the day, those old PGA games were pretty popular. I never actually really played this. There was also
Golden tea. Sorry.
Madden '96. For some reason in the '90s, Madden was really big in the UK, even though we don't play American football.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Interesting.
And there was also Arena Maze of Death, which was actually a really
What?
cool isometric shooting game.
Yeah.
I really like this game. A
Huh.
lot of fun. Yeah. Um, so yeah, those were I guess the main releases there. Um, so
Arena
actually,
Maze
I don't
of
know.
Death.
I should probably mention the GG portrait.
Wow.
What's that?
This box art for Arena
Oh
Maze of
yeah,
Death is
it's cool.
magical.
Yeah,
This
I could share that if
dude
you like.
with an obvious 5 o'clock shadow, um, and a laser Uzi or something that he's holding. He's got a torn white T-shirt. He's behind a brick wall, and it's just
See if I can bring up.
absurd. That looked pretty cool for. Oh my god, it's $185. No thanks.
Yeah, it was made by a British studio, and it didn't get because it's literally one of the last games to release.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a different box art to the one. No, if it's the one you
Hmm.
maybe send
Is
the
it
one that you're
only?
looking at,
Oh, okay. I can do that. Give me a
because the one I'm
second.
looking at is not the one I remember.
Oh, I don't know what you. There you go. Appropriate to have that in the chat right after a child stopping criminals from invading his house. Um,
Uh,
that's very different. Whoa, yeah, I found your box art. Yours looks
okay, yeah,
pretty cool too. I can't zoom in at all though. That's neat. Thank you, internet.
okay. Let me just share this
Oh, it's
screen
just
as
called
well.
Arena.
Yeah, so it's just called Arena, and yeah, so this one you were looking at, which is
Yeah,
very '90s, '80s action movie style.
thousand
That
percent.
looks
Yep.
it looks like, do you know George Michael?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, it looks like George Michael. The
I
lead
can't even
well
think of a song he sings. What?
I mean, he was in Wham, so Club
Yeah,
Tropicana. What's the famous Christmas song he did? Wham did a really famous Christmas song.
George. Whoops, George Michael song.
He was
Careless Whisper. Freedom
yeah,
90.
yeah.
Everything she
Um,
wants.
yeah,
Wake me up
there
before
we
you
go.
go.
Of
Just
course,
picture him singing that right now. There you
that's
go.
the biggest one, obviously.
Wake me up.
There was also a
There you go.
big Christmas song they did, and I can't remember what it is. That's really bad.
Jesus to a child. I don't know.
No, oh, never mind. Anyway,
Doesn't
um,
matter.
doesn't matter. But yeah, that's Wham.
That's what we're here to talk about, folks.
um, have you played the GG Portrait games at all?
The
Uh,
portrait games, no, it looked like they were just mini games and staring at
Oh,
photos of.
it was
But I have been
I-
playing a lot of Virtua Fighter 5 Revo lately, actually.
okay.
And Pi is actually my main, so I
Oh,
play a lot as
cool,
her. So that was
fantastic.
odd to see that. Yeah, it's so weird to see old Virtua Fighter stuff sometimes because that game, if Sega keeps doing what they're doing, it might come back to relevance. But yeah, so
Yeah, the portrait games are just weird because they're not really games. There's some
right.
sort of mini story. but you kind of just got a scene. They go through different scenes of a day of with the characters,
Hmm.
and then when you press the buttons, they might blink, or they'll have a cup of coffee in their hand and it might steam or something. And then,
Interactions.
and I don't know if you saw, there's a clip there where Pie, is it
I call her
Pie?
Pie.
Pie.
Pie
She's in
Chan
the
or something.
shower, and when you press the button, the shower turns on.
Oh boy.
And then the
Of
next scene is she's in the bath covered in soap suds, so you don't see anything.
course. Yes.
And yeah, and then she's just like blinking. And I think,
There you go.
yeah, and Akira's very similar. Like you'll be there'll be a street scene, and you press a button, and then birds fly behind him. And it's like,
Ah,
I don't understand what I'm doing. I don't understand. Is anything actually happening in this game?
I mean, it's no arena maze of death, so I don't know
Damn
what to
right,
tell
it's
you.
not. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so all in all, the Game Gear sold approximately 10.6 million units
Hmm.
worldwide, which was fairly healthy. You know, it's pretty healthy. Not as healthy as the Game Boy, which was a whopping
Yikes.
118 million over the course of its
Whoa.
life. But they did go on longer, the Game Boy. But I mean, still, by the time the Game Gear ended, the Game Boy was outstripping it by miles. So
Yeah.
that kind of, in a way, that kind of wraps up the sad ending of the Game Gear.
Yeah, it just never
Or
like it's so massive that I feel like it couldn't compete with the Game Boy in that regard. I feel like it was a lot more fragile than the Game Boy also.
hmm.
Like the bricks still work just fine. I mentioned my sound's not working on mine for some reason, but I still like the feel of it more. I don't know. But I
but
also have large adult hands.
but Scotty, is that the end of the Game Gear?
Never in our books.
Never. No, damn right it's not. And it wasn't back then either. Haha, what a twist. So, yeah, the Game Gear technically discontinued in 1996. But wait, what's this? Another game was released called Super Battle Tank in Scotty. Do you know the date when this was released?
Today. No, I have no idea.
um, it was released, that's right, in 2000. Just double
That's
checking
what I
actually.
said. Yep.
um, yeah, so um, yeah, there's my videos I've been watching. Um, I've just lost the ability to change something that I need to look. There we go. Cool.
In the
So
year
yeah,
2000. Was that a commercial release?
yes, that was a commercial release. So I
Hmm.
mentioned before that Majesco re-released the Game Gear
Yeah.
back in the early 2000s, like 2000, 2001. They re-released the. Oh, sorry, Super Battle Tank was 2001. That's when it came out. It was
Okay.
only in North America though. So
What?
Majesco got the license for the Game Gear. They relaunched it and re-released some of the most popular games. I think some of the Disney games were re-released, like Aladdin and maybe Lion King and stuff like that. But they also got the
Super Battle
license.
Tank?
Yeah, they also got the license for Super Battle Tank. Super Battle Tank was originally going to be released on the Game Gear back in 1994. So it technically wasn't a brand new game that had been developed in 2001, but it
Oh,
was
okay.
never released on the Game Gear. So when they got the
All right.
rights to it, they released it, and it was the first time it was actually physically released for the Game Gear. And they had a Mega Drive and Super Nintendo version as well, but this was, I think, Game Boy also received one as well. But yeah, so 2001 in North America was the last official physical release date of the game.
For some reason, I thought I owned that game, so that's why I was like scrambling to look through my games right now. Super Battle. No, but I will
uh,
tell you what I do own. That's right. Surf Ninjas. Don't worry.
oh, nice. But yeah, so Super Battle Tank was it's mixed
I think I,
reviews, by the way.
I
Like
think I
people
played it. Or,
say it was a bit
no.
boring and stuff. Basically, you're controlling a tank from the. It's like a first-person shooter almost on the Game Gear, which is pretty cool in itself. But you're
Yeah.
controlling a tank, shooting other tanks in the desert. The problem is the map is pretty big. There's only a few things you have to shoot, and
Yeah.
yeah, it basically yeah,
It's like zero tolerance. How we talked about a third of the screen is the actual
yeah,
gameplay.
yeah. And when you're on a little Game Gear, most of the screen's taken up.
Gosh, I can't
Um,
even imagine that.
apparently, the
Yeah.
gameplay was very repetitive as well. I briefly played it, and it was actually quite difficult to just find the tanks to shoot. So
Oh,
for most of it, I was playing through. I was like, "This is just desert. This is just desert." And so yeah,
desert
you
tank.
do have different weapons and stuff, but apparently it does get a bit more advanced and stuff. But yeah, that's what that is. Um,
Wow, you would think, and nobody wants this thing because apparently I'm price charting it $13 complete.
Oh wow, that's great.
If it is Super Battle Tank, that is the actual final
Yeah,
US release game.
I think that probably makes sense. So yeah, that was I guess the final release for the Game Gear, or was it, Scotty?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so okay, that there was one more game released in Japan, which I don't think either of us actually own. We nearly probably owned it, but we don't own it. So
Yep.
it was. So here's the thing: it's a sort of semi-physical release. Um, so we know when Sega released the Game Gear Micros, they also released a where is it? Hold on a second. Let me bring
You
up my screen.
mean
There we go.
these Game Gear Micros?
Yeah. Let's make Scotty nice and big there. 1 second.
Welcome,
Uh, there we go.
welcome to my house. Come on in.
So yeah, Scotty's holding up 4 Game Gear Micros, and you have the black, blue, red, and yellow Game Gear Micros, don't you?
Sure enough.
Yep.
Whoops.
Well, there was. Don't know if you know, Scotty. There was one more.
There was
There was
the white boy.
white Game Gear Micro,
I thought
which
about getting this.
yeah, if you don't know about this, it was essentially called the. I don't know how to pronounce this word. I'm going to say a least collection
I
or
say a list.
a lest. Okay, let's call it a lest. You probably got it right. So a lest. Um, a lest was a scrolling shoot 'em up series essentially,
Yep.
and they had a couple of games on the Game Gear, but for the LS collection, which was released on Switch and PS4, was it released on Steam? I think so. There's definitely Switch and PS4. They also released the Game Gear Micro version, which had the Elise collection on it. And in that Elise collection, they actually had the Game Gear, a brand new Game Gear game called Elise 3.
Kind of in the same vein of Star Fox 2 getting released on the SNES Mini.
Yes, exactly. So I believe the Switch version of the game and the PS4 version of the game is, a brand new, better quality game, like more modern graphics. But Sega gave them, because this was developed by M2, Sega gave them I guess the ability to create a Game Gear version of the game or something. So this like officially licensed, well, yeah, kind of licensed by Sega for them to make a Game Gear version. So yeah, this was the version you got on the Game Gear Micro, and it's a Game Gear game. And it was
crazy.
physically released, but it was just on the Micro.
Right. So not like a cartridge.
So not a cartridge, unfortunately, but still technically a Game Gear game because it was
Yeah.
Game Gear hardware it's technically made for.
It looks like PS4 and Switch were the only other releases for it.
Yeah. But so there we go. It's pretty cool. And oh yeah, when was this released, Scotty? I forgot to ask you. When was this released?
Whenever was it the year after the Micros or whatever? So 2022 or something, probably. I don't know.
It was in 2020. It was released.
Oh, there you go.
24th of December in 2020 in Japan. You could get it online and get it shipped. That's what we did with our Micros. But yeah, they were a Japanese only release. And yeah, Sega gave the official Game Gear production code to M2, and M2 designed it to run within the system's hardware limitations. So it's just literally a Game Gear game made in 2020. Yeah, so yeah, and that's so essentially LS 3 was a new Game Gear game released 25 years after the system was discontinued. So that's pretty impressive. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see any more games released.
No.
Like, at least not proper ones, but yeah.
Whoa. There might have been a physical Game Gear release for it in Japan. If that's correct, it goes for $1,187.
No way. All my research indicated it was not a physical.
Yeah, let me see if any of these. Oh no, it did. I'm looking at a box.
What? Is that an official box or was it like a fan made box or something?
Let me see.
Can I Google this
here? Let me try to search for this another way. Because it did also, the collection that includes the third or less game did get a physical PS4 and Switch release in Japan as well.
Yes, but I believe that did not use the Game Gear code. I think that used
oh, really?
one for like a more modern version.
Oh
That's my
Christ. Okay.
understanding, at least, unless I misunderstood what I read. Because I don't know. I actually
The
don't own those games.
yeah, this is not working. Sega Retro is not working. No, okay. I'm sorry. I want to correct myself. That's the first Aleste game.
Ah, okay.
That was confusing because the same artwork kept popping up for 3 and the first game.
Okay.
My bad. My bad. So you got to get the little white Game Gear, which
Cool.
has the most difference in color too, next to the yellow one, because the yellow has like it's yellow with green buttons and a gray D-pad, whereas all the other ones are a color but then black, well, except for the light blue. Ignore everything I say. I have a gray. I have a look at my big red one and little red one. The end.
So I have actually found a physical version on Etsy, but I don't believe it's
Well,
actually an
just as real
official.
as the Grimace Game Boy game getting physical releases. So there you go.
Yeah. Uh,
Game Gear
yeah.
Micro Aleste, baby. That's how you get it.
It's
So the
from
diehards.
a seller called Limited Games. I don't believe it's an official one. I think
All
it's
right,
just,
no
yeah,
biggie.
a repro game or whatever they call it. But that's cool.
I think that Aleste
Um.
collection also got the limited magnifying glass,
Oh, okay. Yeah, which kind of
screen
do need.
enlarger, whatever the crap you'd call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Before
Unless
we
I see
okay.
that floating around in Japan, I'm never getting one.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Before we end this discussion, I did want to just raise a point about I guess the sales of the Game Gear.
Sure.
So often you hear people like saying, "Oh, the Game Gear was a failure," you know, because the Game Boy sold 118 million across the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. It sold 118 million units, which is huge. It was the best-selling system of all time until I think the PS2 beat it a few years ago.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, I mean, you know, compared to that, 10.6 million, not a lot. Um, but compared to the competition, um, I feel like the Game Gear was a success because at the time, if you don't know, if you know, around the mid late 90s, there were one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight handheld systems that were on the market, which were I guess big players as it were. So the Game Gear had 10.6 million. The next best-selling
Yeah.
one was the Atari Lynx, which had approximately 2 to 3 million units sold,
Okay.
and that
I
was
was
a
going to
world.
say, let's look at the numbers here.
Let's look at the numbers, people. Yeah, they had 2 to 3 million units sold, and that was sold around the world. So the main regions: America, Europe, Japan. Um, the NEC Turbo Express or the PC Engine GT
Oh,
that sold
right.
approximately 1.5 million. That was only sold in Japan and North America, though. Um, and that was basically a portable TurboGrafx 16, and it was very advanced but very expensive. So just didn't really get crack
Mm-hmm.
on. There was also the Watara Supervision, which sold
I
basically it's
don't
very
even know what
recent,
that is.
1992. That sold less than 500,000 units.
That's the only console in here I don't. Oh, I've seen this thing before. I've seen this thing in
Yeah,
real life before. I never knew the
yeah,
name of it. It's so weird
yeah.
looking.
I think that was only America and maybe Japan as well. I don't remember that being in the UK, but I remember hearing about it.
Hmm.
You also got the Neo Geo Pocket / the Pocket Color, which was again around the world. That was released very late though. It was like
Yeah.
1998,
I
1999.
really like that console. I got
Yeah,
it with a Sega game. That was why. Like I got that instead of a Game Boy uh Advance. Yeah, that was when the GBA was out and
yeah,
I love the little clicky stick on that thing, but yeah.
yeah. It's a cool little system. I guess it didn't have the same range of games and stuff as the Game Boy Advance, and the
Which is
Game Boy Advance
crazy because it has
was
so many good. There's like very few bad games on that console.
yeah, yeah. I think for the games you have, yeah, it's pound for pound, it's probably the better system in terms of quality of games. But that only sold about 2 million units.
Woof.
Um, so yeah, less around the same amount as the Atari Lynx. And um, oh yeah, and then we
Wonder
have
Swan.
the Wonder Swan,
Oh boy.
which has
Yeah.
multiple versions of the Wonder Swan, but all models combined about 3.5 million units. So
That's
more
a
than the
cool
Neo
console though.
Geo, but
That's a
um,
cool that's a cool console. That's all I'll say. We could talk about it
okay.
all day, but yeah.
And then I don't know if you know about this, the Barcode Battler, which I would
That
distinctly
does not
remember.
sound real.
I, so
That
it was in,
sounds like a boss in a made up game in a movie.
so the Barcode Battler is the weirdest idea for a game system. It was from memory, it had an LCD screen a bit like the Game Boy, but the characters were all like
Oh,
stick figures and stuff.
yeah.
You could scan barcodes on virtually anything, and you get
Oh my god.
stats. You get
Yeah,
stats for different games and stuff or something. But there were certain games which were designed just to be barcodes. So you scan a special barcode for a game, and Scotty's
that's
just sent me an
ridiculous.
image. Let me just pop it
Yeah,
as
you
well.
need to share this with the people because that's insane.
Yeah, I remember this being advertised in the UK.
This looks like a price checking machine you'd have at a Sears or something.
Let me just bring this up.
I don't even know how to. It's a yeah, because the screen is like the screen is a calculator screen. It looks like almost because all I see displayed are numbers. Um,
Yeah,
I don't even know. Yeah,
but yeah, there were actually games on it. I remember that. I vaguely remember there being a fighting game on it and stuff. But yeah, you can that's it. You swipe it across the bottom, so you are like almost like those old school credit card machines.
yeah. Which
um,
eventually you had on the Game Boy and stuff. The
yeah,
GBA.
but yeah, it was massive. It was massive in Japan for a very brief period.
What? Of
It was
course.
definitely sold in the UK and Europe because well, at least in the UK, because I remember the adverts for it, and my friend nearly bought one. He's like, because there's a debate about Game Boy versus Game Gear. He's like, I'm going to get a barcode battler. That's way cooler. Everyone was like, you're an idiot. That was the real console war. We shot that down quick.
12 games. 12 games.
Yeah. So yeah, it had 12, so yeah, limited number of games, but the fact you could scan barcodes and you got different stats about weird things, that was the weird fascination in Japan, especially. I believe it was sold in North America as well, but in total, that sold less than 300,000 units, and most of those were in Japan. Because
Hmm.
for like, I think like a few months or maybe a year, it's like, whoa, this is cool. Like,
Yeah.
we could do with this, but yeah, it's not really a gaming system, even though it tried to be. Very strange, very strange idea. Um, but that's it. Yeah. So personally, just to round that little bit off, I don't think the Game Gear was a failure. I think it came second place. I think it did very well because the competition, the Game Boy is just way too big for it.
Sure.
Had the Game Boy not existed, everyone would think the Game Gear was the most amazing thing ever. So yeah, um, yeah. Do we sound like poor losers? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I accept it for its flaws, and I know what those I know what those flaws are.
Cool.
So
So anyway, let's wrap this up, Scotty. I know we've got limited
sure.
time, and I think we've kind of come to the end of it. So, I mean, have you got any final thoughts on the Game Gear? Like your overall thoughts? Any games you'd recommend people to play? Um,
Yeah, Road Rash is actually a really good port on it. I played the crap out of that. The first Road Rash, it's pretty decent.
hmm.
So I do recommend that. And one that I not ironically or anything, but Tails Adventure is like just a sincerely solid Metroidvania game starring Tails. It was their, just like the Game Boy was for Nintendo, the Game Gear was Sega's experimental system. So
Hmm.
Tails Adventure was cool on there. I just played another Outrun game I have you're apparently on a bike instead of in the car and Outrun Europa. But no, for
Oh,
like
okay, yeah.
sincere recommendations, Road Rash, Tails Adventure, Ristar is pretty decent on there. And then I learned that the Home Alone game on the Game Gear is the same as the Genesis one. So like you're crazy crafting
Ah,
guns and trying to
okay.
save the neighborhood that yeah, a couple years ago, I showed off the Genesis Mega Drive Home Alone game, and Graham was mystified by it because it is really an unsung tie-in that makes no sense. And I'm not just saying that because I'm wearing my a lovely cheese pizza, Little Nero's pizza shirt and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, my top four or my four recommendations: Road Rash, Ristar, Tales Adventure, Home Alone.
Yeah,
There you go.
and yeah, I think
Sweet.
Home Alone gets a bad rap, just because a lot of people think it's not very good. But once you explained it to me, I was like, this is surprisingly in depth and very
Yeah.
interesting game. I was quite impressed by it. Yeah. Um, for me, I love the Game Gear up until the PlayStation Vita was my favorite handheld system for years. Like I love the Game Boy, I love the Game Boy
Mm.
Advance and stuff, but the Game Gear has always been my jam. I love it. Battery life is the only big issue I really had with it. So I
Yeah.
just plugged it in.
Yeah.
But some of my top games that I'd recommend for anyone to play, Batman Returns, to date is my favorite Batman game still. I played it
Oh.
again. I was like, I still love this game. Maybe there's some nostalgia there. I don't know, but I just think it's a
Yeah.
very solid game, and I prefer it to the Master System game. For some reason, I felt the Master System game, something to do with resolution or something, wasn't quite right. Um, Castle and Land of Illusion, which we've both sort of mentioned, brilliant game, brilliant platformers. Land of Illusion the visuals are even better than Cast of Illusion, and it's way more in depth. There's actually more to it. But Cast of Illusion on its own is very solid. It's very different to the Mega Drive and Genesis game as well. So if you played the 16-bit game, try out the 8-bit game because it's a different experience. Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, I think they're both great games. There's also a game that was only released in Japan, but it's possible to get a English translation patch now called Sylvan Tale, and that was actually on one of the Game Gear Micros. So Scotty, you do own it.
Oh, that's why it's familiar. Okay.
Yeah, it's essentially a Zelda style game, so old school Zelda style game,
Gotcha.
so top down view, action adventure RPG type game, and that is it's just a very solid game. It's really good fun. And then Game Gear Shinobi, which I added to this after Scotty left in the notes. I don't know why Graham doesn't have Shinobi on his list. I wasn't sure how
Yeah.
many games we could talk about or we should talk about, but Game Gear Shinobi, I mentioned it on this podcast before. My favorite Shinobi game. I haven't played the latest one yet, even though I do own it now. I've got it on Steam, but I haven't played it. But yeah, Game Gear Shinobi, loved it. I've mentioned it before. Play it's very different to the other, Mega Drive games and the arcade game. Really good fun. But yeah, Scotty, if Sega released a new version of the Game Gear today, like a modern one with some improvements like better battery, maybe an SD card slots or something, would you get it, or would you think, yeah, not?
Oh, if Sega did it, yeah, there'd be no question.
Okay, what if
I'm
At
a
Games did it?
consumer whore. I would wait for Metal Jesus to talk about it. I don't know. Yikes. I'm not sure. I don't know because I do like the feel of this. I don't think they do. Maybe they would do the size again, but playing this, being bummed about the sound, I was thinking to myself like, do I need to get a flash cart for my Game Gear? Because there are some good games on there, but also the screen. I started to notice that I had to like hold it at an angle to see it
Okay,
better. So
yeah, because I'm tempted to actually get one of those. Some people have actually modded Game Gears. You can get ones with
oh
much better
yes,
modern screen, modern sound,
yeah. What's
better battery as well, like rechargeable batteries built in. I'm
yeah?
tempted to get one. They're
I
very
forget
expensive.
the dude's name, like Will something. There's a like if you get the Will Wright mod or something, it's not Will Wright,
Okay.
it's not The Sims. I don't know.
um, but yeah, so yeah, I think I'd get one as well if it was if they re-released it and with some more modern, what's the word, modern comforts. That'd be
Quality
great.
of life.
Quality of life, yeah, improvements. I think it'd be great. Um, yeah. So what is your experience with the Game Gear? What are your favorite games? Anything that we mentioned today? Had you played those games? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Please do let us know. Give us a shout out in the
Hmm.
comments. Scotty, I do. Before we wrap up, do you have any plugs, shout outs at all this week?
Yeah. Quick one. I did just do an unboxing of this bad boy here, the limited run trading cards hobby box. Bunch of trading cards in there. They did their
Nice.
Dreamcast collab thing, and I finally got. Um, I'll say the joke again. The joke's in the video. I pre-ordered this in September of 2024, and it showed up in November of 2025 on the usual limited run games timeline. But got a bunch of there's a bunch of cards in there, so I unboxed those. Check that out. And then coming up December 6th, 2025, everybody. Possibly Graham will join us for this, but we're going to be streaming Sonic Shuffle,
Ooh,
raising money for Extra Life again, continuing that to help kids in need. But we're going to be playing it as long as we possibly can. Should we call it a marathon? Should we just call it whatever? But it's going to be me, Nick again, T Bone. I believe Rachel, my wife, is going to be playing with us because Sonic Shuffle against the computer is a joke and the computer cheats. So we don't want to
mhm,
have any computer players.
yeah,
But we're going to do Sonic Shuffle. We're going to call it a marathon, probably starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 6th. I'll have flyers made by the time this is out to show off and stuff
sweet. Sounds good. Cool.
online, viewing on Twitch and on YouTube, people. And we are going to be giving away this. If you watch, you could win this
Ooh,
Rouge the Bat Pop
nice.
that I got recently and maybe some other prizes.
Ooh,
Won't
sounds
be as
good.
sexy as Rouge, but there will be other prizes. That's me,
Cool.
though. What have you got
Okay.
going on,
Nothing else.
boyo?
Cool. Okay. To be honest, I don't really have any shout outs at the moment. Yeah. Just
Australia's great.
yeah. Come to Australia. Just it's a bit cold right now. Hopefully, it'll warm up in the next few weeks. Hopefully, it'll be a hot Christmas. That's what I want. barbecue, a Christmas barbecue or something. 'Cause that's what they do over here because it's so warm normally. And that sounds
Ah,
weird. It's like,
eh.
yeah. Cool. But I think that'll do us. I think, yeah. So yeah, again, let us know your experience with the Game Gear, please, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. It just helps the channel grow. And yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah. Follow us and like us and give us good ratings on all the things that we're on because we don't know
Yes,
how anything works, but we need help spreading the word of the Sega Spirit
damn right.
show.
Catch you later.
Game Gear, Game Gear.
Nice.